everybody? Welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with the beautiful and talented Heather Jo Clark. How are you?
Good, thank you.
CB Gold is here as well.
What's going on?
Oh, you got a Cody Garbrandt shirt?
I have a few of them.
That's pretty cool. I like that. Are you ditching Connor? Are you slowly going to Team No Love?
No. I have like 300 or 400 t-shirts.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Too
bad you don't have, like, you can't replace t-shirts for jobs.
I need t-shirts.
You could make money off of them.
Yeah.
I need t-shirts to keep me clothed and not get arrested for indecent exposure. Jobs I don't necessarily need.
Thanks, CB. All right. We also have Joe the Kid Perez. How are you, Joe?
I'm good. I've never seen CB with a different shirt. I mean, every single time I've seen him, it's been a different shirt. Like, never you've worn the same shirt, never.
You probably won't see me wear the same shirt.
It's crazy. I have like 4 shirts.
Well, I gotta say, you're the smart one. He's the one. I mean, not saying you're stupid, but it just makes more sense, like, commonly to not spend so much money on t-shirts. But if it makes you happy, CB, then maybe it's worth it. Does it make you happy?
I just like being able to wear new shit every day.
Does that make you happy? Do you think it would make you more happy to wear so many, like, a different shirt every day than wearing the same 4 in a row?
I don't know. I just like having lots of clothes.
This is the dilemma I'm having with myself, as you can't tell.
And the
like
OCD
in my
dilemma?
head. OCD? No, it's this minimalism dilemma where I've been trying to get rid of a lot of stuff. Like, right before I moved out here, I got rid of so many clothes. And luckily, I had a roommate that was moving in, a teammate, and she's about the ssame size, so I got to give her a lot of stuff. But literally, for the first time in my life, I gave away stuff that I would wear. Like, before it would be like, oh, this is old. But I like found myself with like 40 sweatshirts, and I'm like, why do I need 40 sweatshirts?
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Right now, my girl's moving in, so I have to make closet space. Yeah. So I just pack like 5 bags of t-shirts and stuff, and I'm gonna go to a homeless guy and just give it to him.
Exactly.
That's my so Joe.
Just give it to Goodwill and you get a tax write-off.
I could, but I know, but I'd rather just give it directly to the homeless person.
But you know the whole thing about the tax.
Cutting out the middle person.
You can't. So you can do it's if your expenses are more than $6,000, your tax write-offs, like for donations, have to be more than $6,000 for you to use it. You can't use both. So you couldn't. I know that's just something to think about.
All right, we're talking about
no, but that's it. Hey, fighters listening. It's important to know.
So anyway,
just give your clothes away. It's not worth it.
So I just got so last night. It's so funny. Comedy is the most humbling, probably aside from fighting, it's the most humbling occupation in the world, because like I had these shows last week. I did the Dime Bar last week, and I didn't like my set at all, because now it's like all comics in the back. It's somehow comics. It's like 25 comics hitting around, and then like 6 actual audience members.
So is it more comics than you invited?
Yes, 100%. And then so you think there's 30 people in the crowd, but it's not. It's 6 comedians and 24 comics. And the comics are either talking or not laughing or judging. And I'm just like, I almost don't want, but they buy drinks, so the bar is happy.
Wait, you said 6 comics and
6 regular audience members who are impartial, and then like 24 comics in the back who are judging or waiting to get up or annoyed. And I always booked way too many fucking people because I have a hard time saying no to people. But now I'm booked up till August. I'm saying, people, you want to do a show? Like, I'm giving people August dates or July, because it's just annoying already. I'm booked too many comics. Even today, some fucking comic texted me, "Sorry, man, you were ignoring me for 2 hours. I had to leave." So he didn't go up.
What do you mean ignoring him?
I was running the fucking show. I'm sorry. Like, these guys are so fucking sensitive. Anyway, so last night I'm on stage, and some people are laughing, but it's basically like one huge guy. The guy must be like 350 pounds, Puerto Rican dude, who's dying laughing at everything. He's like the audience, basically. Right. He's like the one-man gang. He's like the one-man audience, right? For all you wrestling people out there. Fake wrestling. So I'm making him laugh, and then there's like 3 people in the back. There's 2 like flaming gay guys who are laughing, and some girl that was Miss Texas back in her teens or something, and then 2 people in the corner. So I start messing with the people in the corner. I'm like, "Oh, she's too good for you. Kind of, the girl's so hot." And then this guy goes, "Just move on with your plan material." So I go, "Excuse me?" And then I got kind of annoyed by that. And he goes, "Yeah, then he does a joke like when you're sucking dick, I don't tell you to stop." Like, he does like a stock joke at me.
He said that? Or
yeah.
He said that?
Yeah. So then I was like, then I got back. So then the Puerto Rican guy stands up and goes, "Shut the fuck up. He's hilarious." Like, he's defending me, right? So I'm like, see, I have gang members on my team, right? So everyone starts laughing, and then I get him back. Cohen find out that the guy is Tom Rhodes. He's like this huge comedian in the fucking. He's a big comic. He had his own talk show in Europe.
The
Tom
Puerto
Rhodes.
Rican guy?
Yeah. So at the end, I was like, "Hey, man, I didn't know you were a comic. Sorry if do you want to go on?" He's like, "No." And then I was like, "Sorry if I wouldn't have engaged with you if I knew you were a comedian." And he's like, "Oh, you do what you do." Kind of blew me off a little bit, which was, it is what it is.
But at least he laughed at your jokes.
No, he didn't laugh at all.
Oh.
He didn't laugh at all. He was pissed.
Oh.
The Puerto Rican guy loved it.
Oh,
he was
the
like
Puerto Rican guy wasn't a comic. The other guy was.
Yeah. The Puerto Rican guy was defending me to
the comic. Okay.
But it was one of those things where, like, the guy could have just said, "I'm a comedian," or "Hey, I have a talk show," or "Hey," or just laughed about it or something. Like, to him to say, like, "Go on with your comic, go on with your planned material," and then tell me I suck dick or something, sort of opened this whole thing up.
And for a guy that's been in comedy for so long and so much success, you'd think or understand that the worst thing to do to get somebody back onto their set is to tell them to go to their set, because then they're going to worry about who the fuck is talking to them and go do more crowd work. That's the worst way to do it.
It was like, and this guy's like, this guy's a very established, funny comedian who I respect a lot. I just didn't know him by face, and it was just like, I'm like, ugh. It was just one of those things. So then, but it was actually like, it was a good. The show itself was good, but it was one of those things where once the fat guy went to the bathroom, like I lost the whole crowd because he was the guy laughing at everything, and it was just funny. Like, I do a show at Thursday night at the Ha Ha. I think I have the best set of my life. Friday at the Ha Ha again, I host it. Me and Greg Wilson, we hung out with Greg. We had a great time. Saturday, I was at the Laugh Factory. Fucking, Sunday at the Ha Ha. I'm feeling like the best comic in the world. And then it just, Monday, boom. You go right back to like, fuck, I gotta write new jokes. I gotta work harder. I gotta this, that. It's such a mind fuck, But it's good. It's good because in essence, it never lets you get comfortable.
But you know what, Adam, that's everything. That's the same with MMA. I mean, we go in, you have a good day on the mat, you have a bad day on the mat. It's like there's going to be highs and lows, and without those highs and lows, that's what makes it.
100%. 100%. And it's always good. You always learn from the shows that you struggle in. Like the shows that you blow out the room and you're like, I'm the funniest comic ever. You will not get better the next show. Unfortunately, you'll feel better.
Yeah.
But you will not improve. It's the shows where you're like, fuck, I should have done this. I should have done that. The nights you stayed up beating yourself up. So that was that, and then my girl's moving in, right? Which is hard for her. It's not hard for me. I love it. There's like food now, and I got furniture. And there's a rug now, and we have a thing over this, and there's food in the fridge. But like I didn't know that this little small towel didn't go in the sink. I thought it was a towel. I thought it was like a washcloth. It was a towel. So she's educating me on where things go in the apartment, I guess, as a 38-year-old. Also, my cat sitter was coming over, and he was scooping the litter out, right? But then the shovel broke, the little shovel, so then he used the spatula as the thing.
God.
So,
your spatula?
My spatula, yeah, which worked. It was effective. But then my girl couldn't believe that I was using the spatula as the cat litter thing. But it was my friend did it first.
But you were using it solely for that reason? Or
yeah,
you were
no,
then
it didn't go back to the spatula.
Oh.
It
Well,
went
then,
right.
Well, then it's okay, as long as it doesn't go back in the kitchen afterwards.
Go back to the spatula.
Yeah, it sort of became a shovel after that. It became a trans shovel.
Oh my God.
So and then we're looking.
Pranks you could do to people with that.
And then we're picking out a wedding cake, right? So we're picking out this wedding cake. So we go and it's $1,500 for a 5-layer cake.
Are you serious?
Yeah, $1,500. So I'm like, all right, make it one layer and make it all of gluten, so nobody fucking eats it, right? That's what I said, and like no one laughed. And then they were like, I got he's a comedian from her and her mom again. Yeah, I got her. Yeah. And then I go, okay, can I have a little?
Should stop bringing you.
I'm like, maybe I go. Can I have a little figure of me crying on top of it for spending the $1,500? So that was that. And then it's also we're having she's Christian and I'm Jewish, so an Orthodox rabbi won't marry us. And
so you're getting a Buddhist one,
and a pastor won't marry us either. So I'm going to have my friend Ryan marry us, but we're going to have a rabbi and priest there. But so now my friend has to get like not ordained. He has to become you can go online and it's easy.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes.
It's like 10 minutes.
I can marry you guys.
Great, Joe. That's
awesome. I'm definitely coming now. I will definitely be there now. I have to see this.
And then we brought over her cat, right? So her cat now, and her cat is now in the office, and it's like gangs now. It's like my cats are underneath the bed, the closet. Her cat's in the office, but then her cat comes out at night and just like does this weird noise, like it's not coming from her mouth, it's coming from her whole body, and she's chasing like she chased my dog and my cat in my room. They looked at me like, what kind of crazy bitch did you fucking let in this house? But that's what it is. Like she's tough. So there's
like, 3 cats in this apartment.
There's 3 cats in the apartment.
Dog.
Yeah, two are, but she's hiding in my other cat's hiding spaces. So it's like she's slowly.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's becoming a fucking...
The office is the Crips and your bedroom's the Bloods.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. Heather, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. Had an event yesterday, a guard lab event, which went really well.
Nice.
Yeah, at GTA in Canoga Park, a little gym over there, really cool. And yeah, just hustling. I'm training a lot with, again, Benny the Jet, and I'm thinking about tonight actually going to King's and doing a class with
First time?
Rafael. Yeah, and then doing the one in West Hollywood. I guess they have like a Muay Thai class.
Are you going to dojo storm? Or no?
What's that mean?
Just like go in there and just fuck everybody up?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh. Okay, so you're going to go to King's.
Yeah, I'm just well, really, Rafael invited me. I had gone in there to talk to them about Guard Lab, and he invited me to come train one of these days, and I just thought I'd go and
that'll be great
check
for you.
it out.
I mean, why not? You got
fun.
all these great people around here.
For sure. And it's always good, like, because I am going to need to meet people and sparring partners and different, So, yeah, I'm just enjoying myself at the moment. Still can't go super hard with my nose, still recovering and whatnot. But, yeah, doing the podcast and...
Nice.
A
lot of our listeners have went over and listened to it.
Yeah?
They wanted to see how long they could last. And they said it was good. They said it was good. They actually did like it.
Who did they listen to? Which
I don't know.
guest,
They said it was very female empowering.
Oh.
One guy couldn't get past 5 minutes, but the other ones, I'm just telling you what they said on the underground thread of MMA Roasted. Other ones liked it, so it's
other
good.
ones like, hey, you can't please everybody.
No, look, you want to have people to react. Either they like it or hate it.
Yeah.
And anything in between
For sure.
sucks. Joe, how you doing?
Ain't gonna lie, man. I'm going through a little relapse right now.
What happened?
I'm back on Tinder.
I thought you had a girlfriend.
That's what, man, it's weird. It's such a weird thing. I talked about this girl I met at school.
Yep.
We went on a few dates. We
Yep.
got to the point where we were holding hands and stuff, doing that, basic stuff.
Yep.
So that's a pretty serious step, holding hands, right?
Well, did she know she was? Were you just like kidnapping her and grabbing her hand, or
No,
or
he cut it off and was holding it.
No, just, your basic, starter stuff with the
Yeah.
girl. Then we make love a few times, beautiful love in the moonlight.
Why are you looking me dead in the eyes as you say this shit?
All right, so go on.
And so I thought, we're getting pretty serious. This is a beautiful girl. I think I'm falling in love with this girl. And then like a day later, she tells me, yo, ween dog, I think we gotta be friends. And I'm
Called you
Yo,
ween dog.
ween dog.
She did not say yo.
That
ween
was
dog.
not. Oh my god.
She said Joe, but come on.
All right, go on.
She says that she just wants to be friends. She doesn't want to be in a relationship. So I said, fuck this bitch. I went back on Tinder and I met a girl at school in my class who I told her, it's like at 12 o'clock at night, like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I texted this girl from my class. I said, hey, want to come over right now? We'll smoke some weed.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes over and I didn't really have any weed. So we just banged.
Okay, so you did bang her.
A different girl from my school.
A different girl.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is a different girl.
You asked her, want to come over and smoke some weed,
I didn't even have any weed.
but you didn't have weed.
Yeah.
And then you had sex with her.
Yes.
Why not just have weed?
I don't smoke weed. I don't know.
Then why the fuck would you invite her over to smoke weed?
I did that one time. I asked these 2 girls, hey, want to go back to my hot tub in my apartment? And they came, and they're like, where's your hot tub? I'm like, I think that actually would work. I was just kind of I was just seeing if that would actually work. And it did. But you banged her, though. So you like this girl or what?
No.
Why not?
It's just one of those things, you relapse, and
You don't
you're not
relapse.
too proud
You have
of
to
it.
actually have a problem to relapse from.
My problem was I was addicted to Tinder girls, which is why I'm on Tinder and Bumble again.
But they weren't addicted to you.
I know. That's why I only saw them one time.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you're doing well. And CB, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Just had a nice weekend. Got to see my nephews play basketball. They play basketball now.
Right.
And so I saw them both play, and they're pretty good at 9
Nice.
years old. I'm proud of them. It was a
you go.
good time.
There you go.
And I want
I can't
to.
believe you're allowed near a school. All right. Go on.
Yeah, I know. Well, luckily it was a gym. It wasn't a school, but there was enough kids there that they probably could have asked me to leave.
Yep.
And then in their gym they had 8-foot baskets instead of 10. My dad bet me $100. I couldn't grab the rim, so I took my flip flops off, jumped barefoot and still was hanging on the rim with one hand. So
nice.
he owes me $100.
There you go. Okay, hey, good for you. Made $100 off your dad.
And that's it.
As if you don't take enough of their money. All right, so now.
It's not to be fair, it's not his money. It's my mom's money.
Okay, there you go.
So $100 for him is like, it's a lot of money when you're unemployed.
Okay. Well, I saw Carla and Ashley that came to my show Saturday night. They look good. They look, Carla and Ashley, when they get done up, actually...
Ashley healed well, too.
Ashley, yeah. I had my friends hit me up. They're like, yo, who's that chick with the head tattoo? I'm like, that's Ashley, and like, they're fun girls. They're fun.
Head tattoo?
She has a tattoo on her head.
She has it right here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah.
And Roddy Beck both got it.
Yeah. I'm not really a big fan of the head tattoos or neck tattoos or face tattoos, but...
We won't tattoo them. We want it all.
Who's we?
The shop.
Okay.
We won't tattoo them at all. There's guys that come in, they're like, I want LA on like the back of my head or some shit. And we're like, we're not doing that.
I don't blame it. All right, so Rhonda and Travis Brown, they got engaged, and I wanted to write this joke on thing of like, you know, that the priest is gonna say you may now hit the bride, but I knew that was gonna create all this fucking social media backlash. I'm like, you know,
it was too close to Aaron Hernandez.
Well, that, and then plus I know Rhonda's mom is a friend of mine, and so she actually is a friend. So I'm like, leave her alone. She's getting married, you know. But and then I actually so I texted it to 50 people, and then Alan Jouban was like, "You're not gonna tweet this out?" And I was like, he's like, "Wow, I guess you're growing up. I guess being married I think it's making me go soft." I don't know what it is.
You just did say it. So.
Well, because I could say it to my fans that are listening to the podcast versus like, you know, putting it on Twitter where it's going to get a billion retweets where people who aren't fans of the podcast are going to listen to. So don't fucking put it out there on the fucking...
It's done. I'm sure somebody's already done it.
I'm going to block you if you fucking do it. And then, anyway, so... and then you're not going to be able to see my tweets anymore. Anyway...
Does she come back?
To
She's
fighting?
getting married now.
No.
She doesn't... It's over.
I don't think she's going to come back. The only way I think she comes back is if they do a fight between her and Gina Carano, some super fight that she has a good shot of winning. And
Gina's managers won't let her fight though.
Like that kind of a thing, where that's like where they each make a whatever and
retarded amount of money.
Yeah, I think maybe they'll come back for that, but I don't think she's gonna come back and fight Nunez or some of these Cyborg or yeah.
Cyborg.
Yeah,
right.
I don't think she's coming back for that.
No.
I think she might come back for a super against Carano. Maybe she'll come back, and the UFC would do it in a heartbeat.
Oh, of course.
You know, it's a win-win. So anyway. Let's talk about the fights that happened this week. The Ellenberger fight. We'll start off with that because that was hard, man. I was driving to my gig and I put on my Fox Sports app and I'm watching the fight while driving, which is very safe. And
I did that too.
And Jake wins the first round and he looked great. He did. And then my Fox Sports app crashes and I'm like, fuck, I can't watch the second round. I go on Twitter and thousands of people. Worst knockout I've ever seen. R.I.P. Ellenberger. And I'm just like, oh God. And then I had to do a show after. Like right then I do a comedy show, which is I did not want to fucking perform. I didn't want to do anything. To the point where I had to tell myself, what would Jake want me to do right now? He'd want me to go out there and murder and kill the crowd.
Like he's dead. He just got knocked out so bad.
Yeah,
it's like he's dead. And
he was out for a while.
What would he do?
Well, I don't know.
It was scary.
My thoughts are this.
Scary.
Look, Mike, that dude, what is his name?
Mike Perry.
Mike Perry can put anyone down. Obviously, he's got 10 knockouts and 10 fights. His 10 wins are all by knockout, except for the loss to Allen. Jake got caught. Did Jake maybe get a little careless because he won the first round so easily?
Maybe.
Yeah, you could look at his face in the first round, and you could see I could see Jake's smirk of, this is easier than I thought. I got this. And he was looking great. And then he got caught. And then who the fuck saw that spinning elbow coming? No one saw that coming, especially Jake. But but nobody saw that coming. Mike Perry's a douche. He fucking guys on the ground laying there. You break dance, and then you say, "I'm gonna end more people's lives." Like fuck you, Mike Perry. Not a fan.
And he gives zero fucks about anything.
Yeah, not a fan of you and your eyebrow tattoo and your, fucking arrest that you got into for, I think for robbery or something and everything else. Not a fan of Mike Perry at all.
He got one win and he just went crazy.
But he did beat Jake Ellenberger. But listen, people say, are you going to give Jake the Bubba talk? It's completely different, the Jake Ellenberger and Bubba Jenkins situation. First of all, Jake Ellenberger, Bubba Jenkins is going at the fights unprepared. Jake was prepared for this fight. Jake was not tired after 5 minutes. Bubba Jenkins couldn't move after 5 minutes. He did no cardio. He had a broken foot, so he couldn't run. And he took a fight on short notice, and the guy missed weight at a weight class above him and still fought him. That's a totally different situation. Yeah. And I wasn't worried that Bubba doesn't have fighting left in him or can't be successful at the highest level. With Jake, I do feel like maybe it's time to look at other things. He's a smart guy. He's a young guy. He's a talented guy. He's had 50 fights. He's fought the best guys in the world. He got knocked out by a guy who wasn't ranked. And, do we really need to see this? I mean, I was at the Wonder Boy fight. It was fucking horrific. Now we're talking about Robbie Lawler, who stopped him. Masvidal, who hurt him. And now Perry. So, it's really up to Jake. But if I was advising him, I would say, dude, let's not lose brain cells here. Let's move on.
Well, didn't he say on one of the episodes that he didn't have that much long, like he didn't want to do this much longer anyways?
Yeah.
Maybe
50 fights is a good career. I mean, you can definitely not, be proud of that for sure.
What would you tell him if you were his coach?
If I was his coach?
Yeah.
I would just tell him, what it's really about what's in your heart. If he can't end on a loss,
if it's in your heart, then every fighter would fight till they were 97 years old.
No, I don't think so. I really don't. I think, for instance, with me, I've lost my last 2 fights. I'm 36, and I think people could definitely tell me like it'd be a good time to
Your
stop.
fights were very competitive.
Okay,
and you weren't lying on the fucking unconscious on the
right. I've never been knocked out. But some people would be like, okay, well maybe it's time to do something else. My dad's definitely telling me to do that with all my injuries and stuff like that I've had, but in my heart, like everything tells me to keep going, and I can't even think. Like for a while there, I started to think that I had to stop based on my injury in my eye and stuff, and doctors telling me this and that. But to me, the risk is worth it. Like I feel like there's nothing that could stop me because it's just that it means that much to me. But I think there comes a time in your life where other things become more appealing, more, and maybe he has those things. Who knows? It's so individual. And, like Nick D'Lee, Kalinok, she, who I'm talking about, right? Nick D'Lee, she fought in Invicta. She's one of Misha's like best friends. She recently retired and she's like, no, I'm just like really excited for this new chapter in my life. I want to keep training. I want to keep
like 11-10 or something, or it's kind of weird.
Something like that. Yeah. But she's, she's got a lot of fights and she's just like really happy to keep training and do jiu-jitsu and stuff, but not fight anymore. And she's content with that. And she's excited for the next chapter. So, there's going to be, I think some people have no choice and they may not want to stop, but realize it's just what they have to do. I'm sure that happens a lot. I know. Do you know who Rodrigo Bacci is?
No.
He's a jiu-jitsu guy, and he fought for a while, had a really good record. He's in Vegas, and he had cornea, what's it called? Detached retina.
Yeah.
And he basically, he can't even do jiu-jitsu anymore. So he's like 20 years of doing jiu-jitsu, black belt, coach, all this stuff, like spends all his time. And then one day they tell him, you can't even drill it. You can't even get on the mat because if, they like stitched it back together, and if that stitch comes off, right, he's blind. And so that's a heavy blow, and he's young. He's like 30.
Yeah.
So there's definitely injuries like that you would be just devastating,
Yeah, with Jake, the hard part about Jake is that he didn't get blown out the whole fight. He didn't get worked. He actually won the first round and was looking great. Had he not got caught with that punch in the second round, and he maybe a little more head movement, whatever, Jake would have won that fight. So that's the hard part, is that he was looking so good in that first round. But it's really up to Jake. The Danielle Taylor versus Jessica Penny fight, that was a frustrating fight because this girl has a very awkward style of running and punching, and she's quick and she's short. but she's effective.
Yeah.
I thought Jessica Penny won that fight. I know that Alan thinks that Taylor won as his teammate.
I thought Jessica Penny won.
I thought she won that fight. I thought she lost the first round and she won the second
biased,
two.
But I think, I think Danielle did win it, but Jessica, just by I feel like Jessica wasn't landing as much, but I know they were very close in the numbers and stuff. So I don't know. It definitely was a close fight for sure.
I don't know. I mean, really, I think that Jessica got the takedowns, right? She got the takedowns.
She didn't do anything with them.
Yeah, but so what? But they still count takedowns.
Do they?
Yes, but this girl. There should be a 105-pound division.
Dude, so then if takedowns count, even if you don't hold anybody down or do anything, then if you defend a takedown, does that count too?
No.
Why not?
Because it's harder to take someone down than it is to defend it.
Not necessarily.
I don't know. Well, it's not the point.
Yeah, it is the point, and that's
okay. Yeah, obviously the best thing is effective takedowns. I thought they were kind of effective. They weren't effective at all.
No,
okay.
She didn't do anything.
I still think she won the fight. It was close. I think Jessica Penny needs to take a step back and be like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Because I fought Joanna Jędrzejczyk for the title, and then I lost to Andrade, who's also a beast. But I feel like Jessica Penny is in a different class than Danielle Taylor.
She should have won this fight.
And the fact that Danielle Taylor even made it that close is like, okay, maybe the alliance thing's not working, maybe a different camp. But I think Penny is better than that. At the same time, this girl is so frustrated because she's like fucking John Dodson in a wig, and she's this little fucking 4'2" chick with speed. But I think there should be a 105-pound division because this girl looks like she would be.
I don't think she'd make 105.
Really?
She's pretty stocky.
She's got a huge butt.
Her whole body's she's just stocky.
Take away her butt,
I actually grappled
pounds.
her in the Ultimate Fighter tryouts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she was good.
Yeah, she was.
I don't know.
She's improving.
She trains out here.
But she could easily be 0-3 in the UFC.
I'm gonna go train with her. She trains out here.
Yeah,
with some of the
I
same
like
people.
her.
Yeah,
and
she's a nice girl.
Sheriff or something. Or
yeah.
Seems like a cool chick.
A sheriff? You need a ladder to ask you for your license and registration.
She's a sheriff assistant. Or something?
Her and John Dodson standing on top of each other like a totem pole.
Yes, and Demetrius Johnson. It's the three of them.
Cool totem pole.
Yeah. So, but look, more power to her. She finds a way to win, and you can't really hate on that. At the same time, it is kind of frustrating to watch but I feel like if she had more power, she would just be knocking fools out. But she doesn't seem to have that much power. It has power, but not devastating power.
Not hurricane power.
Not hurricane power. Exactly. You have a lot more power than her. The other fight that was ridiculous, female fight on this card, was
Alexis Davis
versus Cindy Dandois.
No, Cindy's my friend, so be careful.
Who won that fight?
Man, I think Cindy's got worse stand-up than Amy Schumer. But so no, Amy Schumer's a good girl.
That's 5 plus followers.
But do I think?
Okay. Hold on.
Her stand-up is the worst in the UFC,
right? And she still managed. Hey, she still managed to punch Alexis, and she managed to. She managed to take her down with the same takedown that she takes everybody down in every one of her fights.
Yes.
I mean, let me tell you, like I said, Cindy's very unassuming. She's strong.
Jouban just showed up. Okay, go on.
She's very she's a lot stronger than she looks.
Yes.
And she's you saw that head and arm throw was more like a head throw.
They got to stop with the head and arm throw. It's the most.
I'm just saying she got Alexis Davis down with not even holding the arm. It was like just a headlock.
She's really hard. She's probably hard to train for because you have to get Frankenstein in there. but her stand up is, if she goes up against a good striker, she's gonna get murked. I thought
Marlis Kunin or Jessamine or all these other girls that she's fought.
Somehow she wins.
What about wait Megan Anderson? What?
She beat Megan.
Wait. Conan's not a good striker.
Conan's more jiu-jitsu.
She's still a pretty good striker.
I just walked in. We're talking about the blonde chick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
That was
hard to watch, man.
People
what
were.
What is her record, by the way?
She's my friend. I'm just putting that.
Okay, she's your friend, but people were
like a good friend.
People were trying to ban women's MMA after that.
8-3.
No.
8-3. So she's like a submission. She doesn't have any knockouts.
Marlis Kunin, Megan Anderson.
How does she? She's a what? She's a black belt
in judo.
In judo and purple in jiu-jitsu.
No knockouts, I'm assuming.
No
And she's a negative yellow belt.
No, she does. She has 2 knockouts.
2 knockouts?
Yeah, she has 2 knockouts.
Really?
She has 6 finishes out of her,
TKO?
her 8 wins.
TKO. They must be.
Let's see.
Either way, yeah. No, that's the first time I'd seen her fight, period, I think. But the first time on the feet that I kind of noticed. And
she
it was crazy to see her style of striking, for sure.
And now, do you think it's hard for people to train? Like, they go in there and they've never seen that before? And
it is,
throws
man.
people
Look,
off?
you know who she reminded me of? And Matt Horridge. I don't know if any of you ever trained with Matt Horridge. He is the most awkward stand-up style, but it's hard to deal with it a lot of times. And if he gets a hold of you, he's like, you know,
right.
He's
And that's
got
how
that
Cindy
retard
is.
strength. He just beats you up. You don't want to be on the ground with Matt Horridge, especially if he's on top of you. But he was like that, man. Matt Horridge was very kind of like, just kind of unassuming on the feet, but it was kind of an awkward style to deal with.
Kenny Johnson's calling me right
What's
now.
he calling you for? You?
So, is he trying to reach you?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
I mean, I didn't go to the gym yesterday.
So is that why your trainers are calling me on the podcast to see why you're not going on the gym?
Alan, there's the 2 TKOs. One of them's a no-name, but she TKO'd with punches Jarina Bears. That crazy.
The one that beat Cyborg?
Yeah, the Muay Thai fighter. She
Yeah.
has a
Wait, they're like
TKO.
6 foot.
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
chick?
No, that's Gabby Garcia.
No,
The one that beat Cyborg
No,
in Muay Thai.
Jarina Bears.
In Muay Thai.
Yeah, in Muay Thai.
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's tall.
Yeah, she's tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cindy TKO'd her.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in
In MMA.
2011.
Yeah.
At a show called Stare Down.
I'm telling you
It was
guys.
2011, but
She's-
that was the last time she had a
She's very
TKO.
unassuming.
Wow. I couldn't think. Joanna Bears, really? She couldn't beat the Berenstein
That's why
Bears.
when I saw it, I was like, what the fuck?
Well, then good. It to the people that were wondering why is this chick in the UFC, there you go. It shuts all of us up. This
Yes.
chick beats up a lot of tough chicks. She
It
just
did
doesn't
look like
have
she was
a
sleepwalking,
pretty
though.
style of
She has,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
She has sleepwalking
But
striking.
she was hitting Alexis Davis, and like
Yeah.
it wasn't. Alexis was trying to get off. I mean, you saw like she
Yeah.
couldn't get her rhythm either. It's like you know how hard it is to train with someone who does like a karate style. I mean, you maybe get to figure them out, and then you can exploit them. But at first, it's very awkward, and they're kicking you in weird shit and doing weird.
You don't think she
stuff.
looked a little bit like one of Bill Cosby's victims? Like after she's been like drugged and.
But it's true though. When you're seeing like professional fighters, or I don't say professional, when you're seeing strikes come a certain way, kind of technically sound strikes come a certain way all the time, that's what you get used to avoiding a slipping. So when strikes are coming from odd angles, it's just you're not used to seeing it. That's why I always say like UFC fighters, the high level MMA fighters. The percentage game of us getting in a street fight, we've got the percentages in our number, but there's always like, it doesn't mean that just because you're in the UFC or a professional fighter, you're gonna win a street fight, because street fight's a street fight, man. Like you just throwing
Anything
leather
goes,
or
yeah.
throwing no leather, throwing fists and hoping something lands. Like, but when it comes to like being in a cage and being technically sound and who does the technical stuff better, that's where it gets to the higher levels. But
Right.
I'm wandering off on something. But
I love it. Now,
you know what I mean?
now we were talking.
Okay, but
about,
how did Alexis not? And I'm not. I like Alexis Davis. She's a very nice girl. But how did she not defend those takedowns? Like, how did she not prepare for the same?
And it was
takedown?
basic double
Cindy
leg,
does that
step
takedown
behind.
for every
Yeah.
fight.
there was just no sprawl. Like she was, I didn't feel like there was any effort to sprawl really.
But
at
do you
all.
know
It
what I'm
was
saying?
like,
If somebody
yeah.
does something over and over again in a bunch of
We're not
fights, aren't
doing
you going to be able to just kind of like work that thing
Yeah.
a lot?
I mean, she trains. Doesn't she train at she trains at CSA?
yeah.
Yeah, which is
Great
an
gym.
awesome gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, predominantly a striking gym.
Yeah,
which,
it's true.
Which kind of shows, but they also have a up and coming wrestling program, I believe, or they're building it. But all in all, yeah, she trains at a really good gym and with a very knowledgeable coach. You think that they would have been training it. She might have just not performed. She might have just been like getting lazy and tired. You know,
She hasn't fought in a while. Her last loss was to Sarah McMahon. She
Right.
could have been a little
It was a
bit
good
like
fight, too.
gun shy, and at the same time, Alexis Davis. When you go from fighting Ronda Rousey in the main event to first fight in the prelims, sometimes it's hard to get up for those fights. It's
Is that what she did?
I mean, she went from Ronda Rousey to the other one, Sarah Kaufman.
Jessica,
I think Jessica. I mean, it's been 3 or 4 fights,
Yeah.
but it was kind of a big drop
Yeah.
from where she was at, and I think a lot of times, you go when you go to that kind of a drop, it's. And plus, when you're looking at tape of Cindy Dandois, you're probably thinking, "I'm going to fucking smoke this girl. This is an
yeah,
Invicta
everyone
girl."
underestimates her. I was talking to Cindy, and she was saying that that's the number one thing.
She's got
that
like 7 kids,
going for.
and she's a soccer mom, and drove her minivan to the octagon. I mean,
She
she's
is.
sort of not exactly the most, and she's very sweet
Very.
and nice and
Amazing.
Yeah, and loves black dudes. All right, so now
What?
I was gonna say, unless you're Rumble, and then she's psychotic.
So she loved Anthony Johnson. She like was stalking him. She was
Like she likes him.
likes him, like
No,
kept.
no.
Yes, she was.
No.
Maybe that's what Anthony has lined up already.
No, Anthony said he saw her 7 kids and moonwalked away from his.
No.
That's what he told me. I swear he told me that.
Oh my god.
I swear he told. I laughed at Anthony Johnson moonwalking at all. Now, we talked about Ellenberger before you got here.
Yeah.
The common consensus is number one. Fuck, Mike Perry just knocks a guy out. The guy's unconscious, and then he break dances and says, I'm going to end more people's lives, and then calls you out for a rematch. Actually,
Did he?
Yeah, he goes, my last
not
guy.
on air, huh?
Yeah, he said, my last guy. I want to fight with the last guy I fought. Yeah.
No,
he didn't
I
say
didn't
it
even
by
hear that.
name, but he like did say it. He goes,
Gotcha, yeah.
What are your thoughts on this guy and the fight?
I mean, you know,
Alan's like, I thought I got away from this fucking guy.
yeah, no,
already.
I mean, I'm not. It's a weird subject because I've let it be known a bunch of times. I don't care for the guy. But with that said, I'm not here to like continually try to bash him or even bring his name to light. I'm gonna let him go on his journey. I'm gonna go on my journey. We met in the octagon and you saw what happened. I wanted him to lose that fight for sure, just because as an individual, I don't like how he carries himself. But then he won, and he did so in dominating fashion. So in a way, that then I redirected, and I go to that like college football type thing where I'm like, all right, well, if I beat this guy, and then he's like knocking out top 15ers, then I guess it only looks good on me. But he's gonna go about his journey and do his thing.
But do you think
he can't
though?
change it,
do you
the way
think
he is.
Jake like it looked to him? Jake won the first round.
Yeah.
It seemed like he won it pretty easily. Sort of got a little bit like, this is easier than I thought it was gonna be. Maybe dropped his hands a little bit.
Yeah,
and then got caught.
This is what I think, man. Like, it's hard to tell how somebody really is in the fight game, where they're at in the fight game in the first round, because in the first round, there's still that feeling out process. There's a lot more adrenaline. There's a lot more distancing that they haven't committed to amongst each other yet. They haven't committed in the distance. So Jake did the right thing in the game plan. He had some takedowns. He kept his distance. He was fighting smart. But the second round was kind of more the telltale sign where, like, does he still have the cardio? Does he still have the cardio to push those takedowns throughout 3 rounds? And does he still have his chin and all those things? And I thought that's when it really started to show that Jake, he's not the Jake Ellenberger, the juggernaut that he was 5 years ago. He's not that guy anymore, man. He's a guy that, and I'm not disrespecting Jake. I've got a tremendous amount of respect for Jake and what he's done, and he's a good guy, and he's a father and everything. But he's a guy that, realistically, let's look at it. He's lost, 7 of his last 9 fights, and he's stayed in the rankings the entire time. He's a guy that I've been calling out. I thought it was a good matchup. I've been trying to get a fight with him for a couple years, and they never gave it to me. And then I beat the crap out of Mike Perry, and then they give Mike Perry, Jake Ellenberger. It really frustrated me because I took the guy that nobody wanted to fight in Gunnar Nelson. Whatever, he won that fight, props to Gunnar. But then they give the guy that I just beat the crap out of, Jake Ellenberger, who to me was the weakest link in the top 15. So it was kind of a very good fight for
I think
Mike
you were
Perry
too
to
respectful in your call out. I talked to him about that.
Who?
Jake.
Oh, yeah?
He said you were like, hey, Jake, I'm a big fan of yours. I have nothing but respect for you.
There was no,
but I would
I'm
like
a
to
big
fight
fan.
you. My name is Alan, and
maybe we can get together
and
after.
check out my new Versace ad. And it was too confusing. I think you're too nice.
I kept the show. I don't remember what I said, but my call outs are usually just like, look, man, I'm looking to fight July, whatever. You don't have a fight. I need one. Let's do this. Let's make it happen. I'm just not trying to say, look, I'm not trying to be like, you're a punk, you're a bitch. I'm not trying to get into that. I'm just saying, look, let's do this, man.
I think you were too complimentary. You got to stop. You're too nice with your call outs.
Maybe so. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that I want to fight that I don't have a problem with. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just, for me, it's just about keeping it professional and just saying, look, let's do this. Let's make it happen. Let's put on a show. But Mike did his thing, man. He did what he needed to do. Coming off of a loss to me, he came back out, got a win, got a knockout, got a bonus.
But what do you think about Jake lying there, like half dead, and then he goes up there and says, I'm going to end more people's lives.
Yeah, whose life do you want me to ruin next? That's what he said.
And then breakdancing. I mean,
I thought it was super disrespectful, man. I mean, like you said, like, we're in here to entertain. We're in the sport to entertain people, but at the end of the day, Jake was laid out, man. I mean, Jake didn't get up for a while, man.
He's still there.
He's still fucked up. That's your friend, man.
I love him.
Oh,
Jake would laugh at that.
Yeah, no, it was disrespectful, and that's just how he goes about things, man. It's but you could tell that that's just how Mike Perry's programmed. You know what I'm saying? The guy's just kind of a few screws loose.
And he has a fucking eyebrow tattoo. Who has a fucking eyebrow tattoo?
Yeah, it says platinum. Yeah,
it says, oh god,
it says platinum.
That's what it says. It says
he has
platinum
tattooed on his face. Yeah.
I mean, he makes you look like you have good tattoos, TV.
Yeah. Connor.
Yeah, I mean, that's a
4 of them.
5.
Six.
Six. You have 6 McGregor tattoos now.
Now it's been that way since he beat Eddie.
Oh wow. I mean, listen. Props to Jake. Whatever Jake does, he's gonna be successful. He's a great guy. If I was his manager, whatever, I would say, listen, man. You know, you've been stopped a couple times. Like, we've had 50 fights. We've had a great fucking run. We knocked out Jake Shields in fucking 1 minute. We knocked out Nate Marquardt. We knocked out Mike Pyle.
He's got some big wins.
I mean, these are all fucking amazing. We knocked out Pele and
he just beat Matt Brown, so it shows that he still has those elements of offense in his game. But I think it's the other variables that are starting to diminish. You know,
we knocked out Pele in 7 seconds.
I don't know how good his chin is anymore. His cardio or just
making fucking Koscheck foam with the mouth.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
But I hear you now. Your girl, I thought she lost.
Oh, Danielle.
But
you thought she lost.
I thought she lost. But
that's why you're not a judge,
I went on
man.
a couple dates with Jessica Penny. Maybe that's why.
I know. I know she's a friend.
Yeah, didn't you say they were horrible?
The worst. All right, so
So then,
what? What was the worst?
My dates with Jessica Penny.
Why were they the worst?
She I don't know. She didn't say thank you when I spent like $100 on sushi, and then she was like, she just gave me resting bitch face the entire time. She was cool. She was nice. She was a very nice girl. But then at the end, we started kissing, and then her fucking dog jumped on me. Her dog is like 8'6", fucking 700 pounds. He's this huge fucking dog, and I go in to kiss, and she kissed back, and then the fucking dog fucking.
Wait, is this a true story?
Anyway,
is happening?
I don't know. But she'll fucking deny it. Anyway, so I'm saying now, you thought Danielle won?
Absolutely. Danielle won the first round. The second round was pretty close, but then the last minute, it was like if you have a close round and the last minute one person gets the better of you, which Danielle did, I gave her the second round. I thought the first round was easy. Second round, she stole it with the last minute because it was even up until then. And then I gave Jessica the third. So I thought it was an easy 29-28 Danielle.
That's what I thought.
But I don't know. It was close.
So I mean, you don't have to score, but did you score?
I thought Danielle won the first round.
So you gave her the second.
I gave Jessica second and third, but I could see how it could be either other way. I could see it. Problem is that Danielle's so fast and so quick.
She moves a lot laterally.
Moves a lot.
So yeah, it doesn't always look good.
Doesn't always look good, but I feel like she could be a 105-pound champion. Could she make 105?
I don't know, man. She is tiny, but she's got a lot of muscle, man. She's
another. Yeah, I know, but another 10.
She's 3'4", dude.
But another 10.
I was happy for her, man. You can see how
she's got a great butt, by the way.
She's got a butt, right?
Yeah, probably her and Tyron Woodley are the nicest butts.
They've got booty, man.
Do the pads cry when she's kicking them in the gym?
Man, probably when she's punching them. She's a little dynamite, man. That's a good name for her. She's explosive. But like I said, the first 2 fights, you could tell she was so gun shy being in UFC. Like she was throwing like one punch at a time and just doing a lot of movement. And this fight, finally, I was glad that the UFC fans got to see her opening up, throwing combos, throwing blitzes. She hasn't even showed a ground game. She's got a lot of like really good. I mean, she could double like the shit out of anybody, and she hadn't even shown any of that yet. So I'm really happy for her.
This is her best fight, and I'm excited to watch her again. Cub Swanson, that was a good fight. You know, that was one of those fights with Cub where I think he realized I got this guy. Like
Yeah, well, maybe like midway through the second round, the first round, he might have been thinking, okay, I got to do a little more.
Yeah, but the second round, I think he started saying like, okay, I'm in a different class.
Yeah,
but like I can still get caught. But I'm better than this guy.
Yeah, because what's his name?
Artem Lobov.
Lobov. He's predictable. I mean, he could catch you, but he's like, you know, he's like a 500 fighter. You know, he's like 15-15 or some shit like that. He's predictable. He's looking for a certain amount of counters. But training alongside Connor, yeah, you could tell that like he works a lot of like slip counters and things like that. You know, he caught Cub with a couple things. Did you see when they did that hammer fist thing? Did you see that?
Yeah,
highlight?
yeah.
So Lobov did that in like his previous
The
fight
Ishihara
when he
fight.
fought the Asian
And they
guy.
made the meme where he had the fucking.
Yeah, he did like
the
a high
hammer.
guard, and then like when you're unexpected, he's like hammer fishing from stand up.
You know, that's what Aisling Daly does too, which is also
she's
from
done
that gym. Yeah.
I was doing that all day in the gym today. Man.
Really?
Like, I was just playing with it
Is it
because Cub
effective?
obviously watched his footage, and then Cub did it to him.
Yeah.
Gave him a little smile. So today during pad work, I would like every combo I would throw, I do a little like downward hammer fist. So
Imagine the first knockout.
Benny the Jet does that too.
Yeah.
He'll do like a back hammer fist, so it'd be like a 1, 2, and then
And then
right
just from
after
the
the
back.
2, just
I did that
come
one
back
time. A
with
girl
it.
was giving me a blowjob, and I pulled it out and then hammer fisted her right on her fucking.
dropped the
and then
mic.
dropped the microphone. I hammer fisted her on her forehead. It's a good move. It's a very, very,
I bet you
very,
she
very effective.
she called
move.
you right back.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. We now we're getting married. So.
Is Iaquinta out of his mind?
Al Iaquinta.
I mean, holy shit.
Just don't
what a
even give him the
performance.
microphone, man. Just don't even.
But
let him
even
talk.
after the tweets, like, you didn't give me a bonus.
Man,
Fuck
okay, that's
you,
the thing.
UFC.
He
I'm
fucked
like,
himself out of the bonus, man. If he wouldn't have opened his
No,
mouth.
no. He was already. It was 3 fights in a row. He couldn't get a bonus already.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying when he got on the fight after the microphone, after the fight, he right away he was like ready to explode. Like I heard like one boo, and he's like, "You're gonna fucking boo
Yeah,
me."
but he can't do. But he was already like. The problem was that he was already. No matter this fight, no matter how well he did, he wasn't
Yeah.
getting a bonus.
Man, I
That's
feel
bullshit.
like, but he started kind
Because
of saying,
a couple fights ago, he either I don't know if it was when he trashed the hotel room.
no, he took time off.
He took time
And then
off.
Joe called him, was like, you need to fight now. We're like pulling the bonuses and like holding your contract. And
Yeah.
he was like, fuck you, dude. Like, I'm not ready.
And then he didn't go to the he didn't go to the fighter conference and instead had like pictures of him at the beach, and then they got really upset about that. So yeah, so
So
he
they
had
told
already,
him he couldn't get a bonus.
Yeah, he's that's why he didn't come back because he
selling
was like
houses.
he's like fuck it, even if I win, I'm only getting like 26 and 24 and 24. I can't get a bonus. So it was like his way of saying, look, I think Al's awesome, and I think he's funny. I do think saying fuck you to the UFC, like tweeting
on
that.
Twitter.
I mean, what organization, like if an NFL player said fuck you NFL, or a basketball player said fuck you NBA,
Bye-bye.
I don't know if they would say bye-bye, but
Or
they would
like
get
major suspension.
major suspension
reprimanding.
and
fined.
$50,000 fine, or some kind of
Easy.
$100,000 fine. They can't do that to Al because you can't fine a guy $100,000 if you're paying him 24. That would just be kind of weird. But like, what are you doing?
I know someone that got fined $15,000 for getting popped with weed in Nevada. A UFC fighter.
Yeah,
$15,000.
Yeah, right.
But that's still crazy.
They fined
Diaz or
I mean, I'm just saying it doesn't matter who it
They
is.
fined
But
Charles Oliveira for jumping the cage after he just won. When he won and
Oh,
he jumped the
yeah.
cage, they fined him like $25,000 or
I kind of
something.
understand. I think it's
but everybody
bullshit.
else jumps
I
out.
think it's complete bullshit. I think it's bullshit.
And does Iaquinta even get another fight? Does he want to fight? Like, he seems like he don't want to fight. He's pissed.
I mean, he looked great. He knocked out
looked-
Diego
I mean,
Sanchez.
knockout.
I mean, he stopped him. I like Al Iaquinta. I think he's obviously his own worst enemy.
Would you say his name was?
Iaquinta or Iaquinta? What is it? You can't say that.
Iaquinta.
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 I think when he's older, he's gonna look back and be like, "What the fuck was I thinking?"
He's a I respect that he's like so honest with he says what's on his mind, but it's getting him in trouble and it probably costs him 50 G's. So
And don't say what's on your mind when you're drunk. Like, probably not the time to say what's on
who's
your
that,
mind.
Renato?
I don't know what's going on.
No, like, I don't know. His approach for it was just, it was weird. And you look at the kid and you're like, this guy could be a champion.
This dude's got Amazon Prime deliveries.
My girl is like, the whole place is different, by the way.
The what?
The whole place is different. By the way, you RSVP'd for my wedding with your kids, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like, I don't care.
I got one kid.
But everyone can't bring their kids, okay? I'm like, you're like, I'm stopping it at your
You know,
kids.
it's funny. I thought about that, man. It asked like how you and how many, and then I put 3 or whatever because me, my wife, and my son.
I'm stopping it at your kid.
But
though,
I was like, man, if this is on Adam's dime, we might have to just
Bubba's
split
because
plates.
Bubba's not bringing his 2 kids. Like everyone's now, I have friends with Mexican friends with like 17 kids. I'm like, so you gotta fucking stop that at a certain point.
No, I was just saying to
I
Al,
love that you already looked and.
I was just saying to Alan about Al, like, I think he has the potential to be a champion. But he's just, I don't know. It's weird, dude.
I mean, you look at it, even like the Masvidal fight, which I thought he lost, which
Yeah.
looks a lot better now. being how good Masvidal is.
Yeah.
Even that loss is like, shit, this is the same Masvidal that ran through Cowboy and ran through Jake and may even beat Maya. Be really hard, but if he keeps, but he knows what's going to happen. It's not like Maya's going to all of a sudden,
turn into a kickboxer,
starts throwing flying wheel kicks, right? I mean, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, he's gonna apply the same game plan. We'll see what happens. I don't know if he could stuff him. I don't know if Masvidal will be able to stay on his feet.
Brian Barberena looked great. I hope he fixes that stupid haircut though. What is that? That was the awful fucking haircut. I like Brian. He came to my show with his wife. His wife is hot too. I'm like, oh, you guys together? They're like, oh yeah, we have 3 kids, and he's got a cute wife.
Nice. Looks like he lives on a street corner.
Nice guy, nice fucking guy. And John Dodson. What are people fucking booing John Dodson for? The guy
he didn't because maybe no finish, which is bullshit. But
he's fighting Eddie Wineland. He's beating up Eddie Wineland, a very dangerous fighter. He's coming off 2 wins. He's a 135 pounder. Really, Dotson's really a 125 pounder.
Yeah,
and people are booing him.
I don't understand.
I don't remember them booing. They were booing him.
Yeah,
at his post-fight speech or something.
Yeah.
So John cornered me like almost all of my beginning fights, from Jackson Winklejohn's, and he used to hold pads for me, and like he is just one of the most interesting, coolest, funniest, thoughtful guys that I've ever met. Just have to put that out there.
He's a super happy, positive guy. I think that's
so
kind of why he somewhat doesn't get the push or the love from the UFC or from the fans. He's almost like, you know what I mean? He's like this
so
super
nice,
happy, cheerful guy, always breakdancing and stuff. And it's like people almost want to see like somebody that they want to see Mike Perry sometimes.
They want to see a Conor McGregor.
I feel like people don't like happy black people. Like fucking Cormier gets booed. He's a happy fucking guy.
Yeah, but he talks a lot of shit.
Not really. He didn't.
What?
Now he does because he didn't.
Really?
That's because you're a John Jones fan.
Well, he's a friend of mine.
but Cormier is the nicest guy in the world. Think of the angry black people, everyone fucking loves. What is it with that?
It's the the rap video thing. You got the rap video cover, the rap album. You got to be, if you're the heavyweight champ of the world or whatever you are. If you're a UFC fighter, sometimes they want to see the tough guy with the pit bulls and a champagne bottle and the gold teeth. They don't want to see a happy guy. They don't want to see somebody that's doing the right thing sometimes, I think.
The only happy black people ever liked was Norman Smiley. Remember Norman Smiley from the WWE?
Yes.
Dude, he was this journeyman fighter, right? Wrestler. Norman Smiley.
He always come in and do the Cabbage Patch.
And then all of a sudden
That's
he started.
his real name,
then all of a
Smiley?
sudden he started smiling and like humping people from behind.
And dancing.
He would dance and start dry humping guys and be like patting them in the ass, and then everyone loved him.
Yeah.
He became like the homosexual.
He's one of the head trainers at the WWE Performance Center now in Florida.
Have you ever graphed him?
Actually, yes. I met him at WrestleMania 2 years ago.
Did you say graft him?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Graft him means got his autograph.
Oh, we're gonna start this again.
Yeah. CB is the graph master.
Right.
He's gotten everyone's autograph.
I do like that was actually whoever came up with that.
Me.
That was good.
You have a book. You have photos and everything.
Yeah, you've signed a few.
I know. I remember signing one time, but I can't remember if you had one of those big albums with pictures
I have
and
photos,
everything.
gloves. I have 2 walls in my apartment dedicated to Conor memorabilia.
So we're calling Anthony Birchak right now, who's just coming off a loss in Ryzen to KYRIE, right?
Yeah.
It was a good fight, though. It was a good fight, solid fight. I wanted Birchak to win, obviously. I like Birchak. I helped him get in the UFC. Then he fucking leaves after a winning streak. I don't understand that at all.
Well, yeah, I don't even remember when he got cut or what happened.
I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Calling you.
Only he would pick up your phone call.
Hey everyone, you reach Anthony Birchak, next line of Tucson Jiu-Jitsu and Toro Tech Mixed Martial Arts. Please leave a detailed...
Too many fucking jobs, man.
Toro Tech.
What's Toro Tech?
His nickname is Toro, El Toro, so I guess that's his...
The bull?
Yeah, exactly.
The Jitsu.
Toro Tech.
So, Alan, you're a black belt now?
I'm a brown belt.
Under Eddie.
Yes.
So when are we gonna see like a go-go plata or a twister or
any jiu-jitsu? I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. I don't know. I don't know. In the lower levels, I hit 2 go-go platas in a row when I was in the Amis, and then
Hello?
since then, I haven't even tried jiu-jitsu.
Anthony Birchak, how's it going?
What's going on, dude?
You're on the MMA Roasted podcast. It's me, Alan Jouban, Heather Joe Clark, and CB Gold. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, brother?
What's up?
Nothing, dude. Just brought the boy to come get some toys at Target.
Nice.
Told him when I got back from Japan I'd bring him to grab something. So
You're at Target with your son right now?
Yes.
Is that what you said, Anthony? You're at Target with your son?
Yeah.
Dude, it's going to be so hard to concentrate on this phone call right now.
I know. He's gonna be
You're toy
okay.
shopping with your son.
Well, the
now.
thing is, he's got 7
I'm
kids, though.
walking
Anthony, how
I'm
many
walking
kids?
outside. Trust me, I know better.
How many kids do you have now?
4.
Okay, only 4. That's good. Okay, good. You have 4 kids. Now, I have a lot of questions for you, my friend. Number 1, why did you leave the UFC after a winning streak?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it a streak. I would, but any win in the UFC is a good win, and you know, I had a good a good win over Dylan Lopez, who was only 19-2 when I fought him. So to be only 3 men who have beaten that guy with a great finishing record. I think out of 19 wins, I think 11 of his finishes come by guillotine. So, I mean. Going into that fight, it was already my 4th fight on my contract, and I had, waited for the UFC to kind of reapproach me and say, hey, we noticed you're on your last fight, let's get you a new contract, but that never happened. So after the fight, I talked to Sean Shelby, and I thought it would be enough that the UFC would want to, re-sign me. I said I'm going to stay in Vegas, for about another week. Is there any way I could stop by the office and, we can kind of hash out some deals? And I really got no response. So I kind of started hassling Sean and saying, hey, let's re-sign a deal. I want to, re-sign to a big deal or whatever, 5 fights, 6 fights, something, to solidify me. And he's like, yeah. He goes, there's only like 2 or 3 guys left that are contracts open out there right now. He's like, and one of them's Thomas Almeida, so you already fought him. He's like, kind of just sit tight till 2017. He's I'll let a couple of these guys fight out their contracts, and I'll re-sign you in 2017. So I told him, I said, that's 6 months from July when UFC 200 happened. It was, I can't be sidelined for that long. Having 4 kids and a household of 6, it was just way too long. And I told him I was going to start fielding some offers. So I got some offers. One was ACB in Russia. They offered me some amazing money. Hold on a second. Had a great deal.
Now, Anthony, when you say amazing money, like, you don't have to give me the exact number, but we're talking between 30 and 40,000 a fight, 50 and 70.
Yeah, right around that.
30 and 40,000. Okay,
that's amazing. That's amazing. More compared to what I was making in the UFC. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
So the show money, was decent in itself. So on top of that, they offered me a title shot, and if I fought for the belt, my purse would go up $5,000 on each side. So that was even a sweeter deal. Okay. So I just kind of I let the UFC know that
no. You're saying Ryzen and ACB gave you the kind of similar offers.
Yeah, Ryzen. The reason I went with Ryzen is because it's Pride Reborn, and growing up as a kid, you see those Pride Bushido 9 and stuff like that. That's something that to me as a fighter was more important than money. So I may have taken a little less money to fight for Ryzen, but it's such a much better promotion, man. Like, if you guys watch the opening ceremonies. The fights are about, like, the show's about the fighters. It's not about, the show itself. Does that make sense? Like, they really showcase the talent that's about to step in the ring, not showcase their production power or their media marketing machine. You know what I mean?
Now, when you fought in Ryzen, I did notice that the KYRIE that you fought was not the same KYRIE that fought in the UFC. This dude had muscle upon muscle, and he was 3 times the size as he was in the UFC. I'm sorry, maybe you don't want to say it. I'll say it. Are they testing over there?
They say they do, but I mean, they told us that WADA's doing the testing and that they're actually sending our samples to Salt Lake City, Utah, to be tested. But I mean, who knows?
Did you get tested while you were there?
I did, yeah. We all got tested. We all had to go in as a group and do our group drug testing.
Yeah. Just urine though.
And it's just urine though. You know what I mean? And whether he was gassed up or not, I don't care. You know what I mean? I didn't get finished by one of the all-time greatest featherweights and lightweights, you know, in not only Japanese mixed martial arts but mixed martial arts in general. You know, I was looking back at like when they were playing his promo video, like a couple of dates came up with like 2004, 2005. I was barely getting out of high school. You know what I mean? That dude's been fighting forever.
Yeah, but you graduated high school at 21. But okay, go on. So.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just crazy. You know, people were telling me like, hey man, you know he's probably going to be, you know, juiced to the gills now that he's in Japan, and you know they don't care, and he can get like a therapeutic use exemption for that. I'm like, dude, look, if I go in there and I beat him clean, you know, while he's all gassed up, that just solidifies me as one of the best fighters in the world.
No, but there was a time like in that second round where you hit the most beautiful like lateral throw off a whizzer. But then he was able to kind of overpower it. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I watched the video again, and I was like, man, I never lose my hips. I never have lost my hips before. And that was a hip battle that I lost. And I watched him literally just rip me off his back with his right hand. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, not to discredit him because I have no proof or anything. He just looked a lot bigger than you. I'll just leave it at that.
No, but this is the thing, you know, it's like I created this monster in my mind that was KYRIE, and once I felt him, once I truly like locked horns with him, he didn't have shit. You know what I mean? It wasn't like anything I've ever felt before. It was like holy shit, this dude's like, you know, incredibly beatable. I need to step up my game. But I think where I messed up was 2 or 3 things. One, I definitely kind of beat myself mentally, building this you know, giant creature up that I thought was KYRIE. And then in the fight, I made two decisions that bit me in the ass. And once I got him off my back and I turned him into the corner of the ring, I shot in for a takedown, trying to prove that, you know, I was just a good wrestler, when I should have turned, posted, and started kneeing and elbow the piss out of him.
Right. No, there was a couple that. Now, when you were on your back, punching him, and you guys were exchanging punches, but he's like doing ground and pound, and you're punching off your back. Like, did you think maybe I should try to sweep him, or did you think maybe I could knock him out from my back?
No, I wasn't trying to knock him out. I knew I couldn't really generate any significant power from my back. I was trying to cut him though. I was trying to open him up, you know, and that was one thing I thought going into the second round. If I can open him up around the 7th, 8th minute of the first round, I think going into round 2, I can start playing on that a little bit more. So that's what I was trying to do, and I was really trying to just make it hard for him to do anything, you know, and I was actually really surprised that I got a legitimate catch on an armbar, you know, against a top-level black belt like him. And this whole week in practice, I've been going over armbar finishing techniques and kind of where I went wrong with that. But I was just I'm not disappointed in myself. I'm just very upset and angry.
Well, and look, it was a great fight. It was an entertaining fight. I mean, he had like the backpack on you. You were carrying him around. You remained calm. Then you caught him in the second with a great head kick. Almost finished him there. It was a great fight. You have nothing to hang your head about. So, you know, did your wife bang you that night or no?
What was that?
Did like your wife bang you that night in Japan or no?
Oh heck yeah, bro! I got some pity lay. Don't get me wrong.
No, you got some pity lay. That's good. It's always good to get pity lay.
I got it.
Nice.
Yo, Anthony, to backtrack just a little bit, man. You were saying you were in Vegas the last fight that you won, and they wanted you to wait 6 months until next year. Was that the card? Were we on the same card? Was that when we both fought in July, right before 200?
Yeah, that's when you fought Belial and I fought.
Okay, that was the same fight. You won that night, and then from there, they didn't want to re-sign you until 2017. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
well,
dude. I see where you're at, man. I wouldn't want to wait that long either. Yeah.
So I even stepped in on short notice to take on Rafael Assunção when Aljamain Sterling was out with his bloody tampon or whatever he had going on. We never even got a clear answer on why he fucking pulled out of that fight. So I called Sean Shelby and I was like, hey, let me take Rafael. He's like, well, that's a really hard fight. And I was like, there's no fucking easy fights at my division right now. Like, you know, I'm trying to get back in the UFC. If this is me saving, you know, a fight for you guys, and, you know, trying to step up and fight another top 10er on short notice, I said, I'm going to do it, you know. And he was like, all right, let me get right back to you. He's like, I'm going to call Rafael's manager. And I know Alex Davis from ATT, manages all the Brazilians, and he's a great guy. Dylan, he manages Dylan, so I fought, and he manages Thomas. So I fought, you know, I would have fought 3 of his guys. And I told Sean, like, hey, this is right around Thanksgiving. So I'm like, hey, you got to let me know because I'm sacrificing holidays right now. I'm not eating. We just made this giant dinner spread. And, you know, I'm trying to make some sacrifices here to you know, get back in the UFC. He's like, okay, well, let me call you right back. So I said, okay, I'm going for a run. If I don't answer you, you know, I'll give you a call back. So sure shit, he called me while I was running. I called him back. He pressed ignore because it went directly to his voicemail. And then I called again, no answer. And then he sent me a text saying, it's complicated, but I can't have you fight in New York. So I was like, damn, man.
Yo, you keep saying you called Sean Shelby. You don't have a manager. You manage yourself. That's what I'm getting.
No, but no, Mercedes is my wife. She's
That's what I thought. She manages you, correct?
Yeah, she's texted him constantly from the fight in July when I was still healthy. The only thing that I really needed to fix was my hand. But that healed surprisingly quick, and I was back in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Gotcha.
So how do you like training at Extreme Couture versus Jackson's?
Oh, dude, it was amazing. Both of those gyms are incredible, but I just think there's a lot more focused on the fighters at Extreme. There's just so much talent that comes out of Jackson's. It's really hard for them to, you know, focus on one fighter. Obviously, I want to be selfish and get the best training to myself, but you know, with Extreme, I had Coach Robert Follis, you know, chiming in and helping me out with certain positioning. I had Eric Nixick, Dennis Davis, and you know, Travis Kalinok that came up and he ended up pouring me. And then most of all, working with master striker Ray Sefo, dude. Oh my God,
wow.
Those pad sessions were some of the best pads I've ever had in my life. It was just such a great flow, such a great vibe. Sometimes when you don't hit pads or miss with somebody, you know, you guys kind of have to find your rhythm for the first 2 rounds. But man, me and him started cracking, and it poured like water out of a glass.
Now I heard that Mercedes has a nice butt, right? But I heard there are a lot of the African American fighters at Extreme Couture were checking out your girl's butt. Does that really happen?
No, dude, I'm like Kevin Montcalm Phenom and all the Hawaiians at Extreme. I don't care what weight class you're on. We're fighting. Like we're fucking fighting.
Anthony, isn't Follis the I'm gonna take it off the subject. Sorry for a second. You can go on about Mercedes butt in a second, but I just wanted to tune in and say, yeah, Robert Follis is just such an extraordinary coach. Wouldn't you agree? He's just like the and Travis. Travis is great too. Were you happy to work with those guys?
I can barely hear you. You're kind of breaking up.
Did you like working with Travis and Follis?
Yeah.
Awesome. Now was Kevin Lee one of the guys checking out Mercedes' butt?
I'm sure Kevin's checked her out a few times, and Mercedes like, "Ooh, he's cute," and I'm like, "No, don't even start that shit."
He's cute.
Like, 'cause if I say any female in MMA is cute, I'm gonna get crucified.
Wow, that's hilarious.
He's got a fight coming up, right?
Kevin Lee is fighting Michael Chiesa. Who do you like in that fight, Chiesa or Kevin Lee?
Kevin Lee will be the lightweight world champion. He's got so much potential to grow, and I think he's just a devastating force at 155. I think with correct timing and opportunities, I think he will absolutely be the 155-pound UFC champ.
There you go.
So when's your next fight?
What's up?
When's your next fight? You have anything lined up?
Well, this is the thing, is like the first round of the Bantamweight Grand Prix starts July 30th. So I told them, you know, if I take this fight with KYRIE, that's one thing that I definitely want to get in on is being in that 16-man tournament. So I'm waiting to hear back on an official yes. As of right now, Kyoji Horiguchi, Hideo Takoro, Ichiro Ito, and then the Pancrase and Shooto world champions are the guys that are coming up. And actually, 4 out of 6 of those guys are all 125ers.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear back on a matchup for that. But if I would get into the tournament, the first round's July 30th, the second round sometime in October, and then the last 2 rounds would be it would be around December, and their January 1st New Year's Eve show would be the finale and the Grand Prix final.
What's the money like over there, man? Is it comparable to ACB?
Well, in the tournament, the winner gets $350,000. I believe the second place gets like around $100,000 or so, and then third place of the tournament gets $50,000. So that's on top of your contracted purse. From what I understand. So if you go through your 3 fights on your contract, you get your contract money plus you get Grand Prix money. Nice. So I mean, it's really, really, really lucrative, and it's not like 15,000 to show, 15,000 to win. It's just a flat purse. So gotcha. It's so much better, man. Like honestly, even though I lost, everybody showed me so much love and support after the fight. I had a blast getting my ass kicked. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to worry about, fuck, man, I had a bad performance, the UFC's going to cut me. You know, it was like, man, I went out there and had a good-ass time. You know, I enjoyed a fight. So. Well,
listen, Birchak, you're the man. I fucking love watching you fight. You're a great kid. Happy that you found a home now in Ryzen. And would love to get you back on the show soon.
Yeah, heck yeah. I'm going to be out in LA soon, so I want to get into the studio and actually, kick it and talk shit with you guys.
100%, man. 100%. Take care, Anthony.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on. Bye.
Bye, Anthony.
All right, that was Anthony Birchak. Solid guy.
He didn't know that we're in the soundproof studio here.
By the way, I want to thank our sponsor, Blue Apron, the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country. Their mission is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone, and they achieved this by supporting a more sustainable food system, setting the highest standards for ingredients, and building a community of home chefs. I'm telling you, me and my girl have Blue Apron night. It's the sexiest, most fun night. There's nothing better than cooking with your girl or your guy or your kids or someone you hate. Cooking builds strong family bonds. Research shows Blue Apron families cook nearly 3 times more often. And those who spend a lot at restaurants or high-end grocery chains can now spend under $10 a day. I mean, that $10 per meal, which is ridiculous. I spend so much money. I go to Panera and spend $80 on a thing. So I'm telling you, go check out Blue Apron. It's affordable. They got variety. They're flexible. They're easy. It's guaranteed. Check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/MMA Roast. You'll love how good it feels, how good it tastes. You'll be able to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. Don't wait. That's blueapron.com/MMA Roast. So what do you think of Birchak's story with the UFC? That's crazy, right?
Yeah, it is crazy. But it doesn't surprise me, unfortunately, because it's just, there's just no, really way about the UFC. It definitely feels like there's favoritism and based on popularity and this and that, and it's unfortunate, but it is a business, and if that's just how they're running the business, that's their prerogative. I mean, it seems like they're doing a pretty good job of growing, so they're doing something
Sean
right.
Shelby told me that in the contract it says you cannot get cut after a win.
Really?
That's what he told me.
But his contract was up. So he didn't technically get.
He didn't get re-signed. He didn't get cut.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
And it's not that he was going to be re-signed. They just he didn't have, okay, so this is it. He didn't have a contract so Sean has all these contracts and he's all these guys that he has to get fights because on the contract it says they have to fight so many fights per year, right? And so that's where the stress comes, is trying to get all these fighters. He's got signed fights. And so there's Anthony. He's like, I can't. I got all these guys that I have to get fights on contract. And he's like, Anthony, so if you want to fight, you're going to have to wait until blah, blah, blah. So I mean, could Sean have figured out something or
but he put him on a back burner,
Yeah, but that's what it is. I mean, I remember trying to get my last fight. I had one loss, and I was afraid I was going to get cut, and I was like,
what would you say the highlight of your career has been so far? Is it beating Roddy back?
It was because I had my torn ACL when I did it.
Oh.
Yeah.
During the fight?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How's it going with the boyfriend?
Adam, how do you go? How do you go from like
It's called
Torn ACL to
ADHD.
boyfriend.
ADHD? Okay.
So okay, yeah. So it's going good though.
What?
You and Morgan?
MMA?
No, Morgan.
I was talking about the UFC, Adam.
Oh, okay, all right. So let's talk about OSP. OSP looks fucking good. OSP, if he had a real camp, he could possibly be the champion. That dude.
You mean a real team?
A real team. I feel like he trains with his like middle school.
Damn.
Right.
I think he just opened his own gym though. Him and his coach. I thought I saw something on one of the countdown shows or something where he was opening his own gym, and that's been the dig on him. Like, you know, is he going to go to a bigger gym and have the? I think with coaches, obviously you need a coach with a high skill set and a high IQ, but also you need the partners. You need who's he going with? He's a big ass 205er. Like, you can't just go with random guys that take Clash. You know what I mean?
It seems like, but it's right because he seems like he has all the makings of an
Super
athlete,
athletic,
athlete. I mean, just everything. He just needs guys to beat on him.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if he wants. A lot of these football players and guys who cross over to MMA don't like getting beat up, which you can't blame them, especially when you're in a sport like football where you're usually the most dominant guy, or if you're the guy doing the hitting, especially.
Yeah, it's a tough sport, really, you know, on the body too.
Well, football is, yes, but there's nothing like wrestling or jiu-jitsu or getting beat up, and I feel like OSP likes being the big fish at a small pond, so he'll beat guys, but then he gets to the upper echelon, the elite, the John Jones, the Jimmy Manoas, the Daniel Cormier's or whoever, and he's not going to beat those guys unless he really takes that next step of going to a Jackson's, going to a American Top Team, going to whoever, King's MMA or Black House, Extreme Couture. It's just not going to happen. I mean, we think the only person who I think where that's actually happened for is Connor. It seems like Connor is the big fish in his gym.
Isn't also Mighty Mouse?
Yeah, Demetrius.
Yeah, but
there's not really
but Matt
anybody
Hume
up there.
is like a coach among coaches.
Even his training partners are.
His training partners are 7-year-olds, but still,
he's got a coach with a super high IQ, and then he kind of goes against his coach. But yeah, he doesn't have a ton of training partners.
Right. By the way,
you don't really hear about anybody else coming out of that. You've never really heard about
it. Right. But I mean, even Connor, even though he's a big fish in a small pond, so to speak, he does have training partners coming up. Nobody's
there, yeah.
Right. There are a lot of bodies, but then he's also like, when he has these big fights, he brings in people. He brings in certain guys. So everybody at some point has to bring in somebody to upper the level.
And then Brandon Moreno, that guy just keeps getting better and better.
I love him. I think he's hilarious.
McLovin, is that?
No. He's like this Mexican dude that was on the Ultimate Fighter, and he his first fight in, he killed my parlay because I thought he was going to get killed by that Hawaiian dude, Louis Smolka. He tapped Louis Smolka, then he beat the second
he beat Ryan Benoit.
Ryan Benoit, and now he won his last fight against
Dustin
Ortiz.
Yeah, isn't his McLovin? That's his nickname.
They call him McLovin?
McLovin.
Really?
That's the same guy, yeah, McLovin.
Yeah,
he looks just like
speaks
McLovin.
No English.
What's that?
He speaks no English. Mexican dude.
Yeah, that's what the McLovin thing is throwing me off a little bit.
Oh, maybe it's a different guy. The guy that tapped out Dustin Ortiz.
Yeah.
They
call him McLovin?
I'm pretty sure that's McLovin. They've been calling him that on the air for a while now.
They call him Mexamelt, but I don't. No, kidding.
Oh, he's the assassin.
He's like a super happy guy. He's always smiling.
Yeah,
that's McLovin. He's from the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah,
that kid's a fucking nut though.
Have you watched the Ultimate Fighter, by the way?
The new one?
Yeah.
Redemption.
It's only one episode though.
I had to catch up on it, but I did see it. Yeah.
Have you watched it? I like it.
It's good.
I like it,
dude. It's got all the makings of. I mean, all the drama that you could. I mean,
I love
just between all the camps and everybody there, and then all the form. The fighters are so. It's so scattered. Like, they've got guys that have been in the UFC. Seth Baczynski, I mean, he's got like 15 fights.
The guy that you knocked out.
Yes, and he's a true welterweight. He's like 6'3", big guy. Then they've got guys that are like.
They got Joe Stevenson.
Who's been retired for like 10 years.
I love Joe Daddy.
Yeah, and then they've got guys that guys that are like. That should have even got cut. That got cut like one fight ago, a couple months ago.
A guy that's still under contract
James
in the
Krause.
UFC.
James Krause
His
is on. I mean,
contract is frozen.
It's Mehdi Baghdad. I mean, there's just like it's an odd mixture. I'm curious to see. What's the big black guy that was on Ultimate Fighter?
Gilbert Smith.
Yeah.
No, Gilbert Smith, not him, but the other guy who I think he won the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh,
at
Eddie Truck Gordon.
Eddie Gordon.
That guy's Eddie Gordon.
A Ramsey and
He's
Gem
gonna crush some of these
like,
55ers that are stepping up to 70. You know what I'm saying? Like, Eddie Gordon's a big man.
That was confusing to me. I was like, wait, what weight? I had to go. What weight are they fighting at?
Right,
Like,
because there's a lot of.
Fighting at 170.
It's all 70, but there's a lot of 55ers stepping up, and it's 80 fighter. Yeah, I mean, it's. It's gonna be interesting once they start matching them.
Urbina couldn't even fucking fucking episode, first fight in. This dude can't make weight. I'm like, we're 25 seasons in, people. You've been doing this. This ain't like.
Cam Bryant kept saying like it's called redemption. This is your time. To redeem yourself, man.
You've done this before. You're not new.
This is
People
your
know
second chance,
who you
bro.
are.
Like.
I met Tom Galicchio. He came to one of my shows up in. I didn't even know who he was. He came by himself, sits in the very front row, and I just keep ragging on this like guy with these weird ears, you know. And then he's like,
He's just weird looking.
Nicest guy. He's a comic too. He does like amateur stand-up comedy. He's fighting Eddie Truck Gordon. He's got a fucking tall order in front of him this week.
I got to make an appearance.
That's the fight coming up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think I saw when it's the face-off. It was a big size difference. Right?
Yeah.
I got to make an appearance on the show.
Really?
Yes.
What did you do?
I can't. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, so I'm just not going to.
Was it like a kissing booth or something? Or?
No.
What did you do?
I can't say.
Just
I
tell
don't
us
think
what
I can
happened.
say. No.
It's like confidential.
Yeah, well,
Did you try to convert everyone to become
Episode
vegans or something? You came on, you're like, here's the vegan
You just
lifestyle.
have to wait.
Fuck. Can we get all right? People, guess what Heather does on the Ultimate Fighter this year.
Oh,
Hashtag
boy.
Heather does.
No.
It's called Living with Funyuns.
What?
I just realized when I said it was really bad. It was a play on your show.
Wait, was it?
Because you said vegan,
Oh,
so I
yeah.
said it's called Living with Funyuns.
Living with Funyuns instead of living with funny. It's not bad.
When I said it, I didn't think it was.
It was. You can't beat yourself up halfway through your own joke. You have to finish
I'm
the joke.
trying to, like-
You got to finish the joke and then beat yourself up. You can't.
I did. Just luckily nobody heard it.
So how is the vegan lifestyle, Heather?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's awesome. Nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's difficult at times to find food when you're out and about, and yeah, it's definitely trying at times.
Why do vegans smell a little weird? Not you, but I'm saying other vegans do seem like they have a
I've
little
never smelled a vegan that's okay. I shouldn't say that. I have, but I've smelled other people just as frequently.
You don't think maybe it's not having enough things in their body that's why they
things in their
release
body?
an odor like
I don't release an odor.
not you because you're healthy, but I've met some vegans that look like they're on the brink of death.
Does Ashley stink?
No.
Okay,
No,
she's
no.
vegan.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's two vegans.
And I blew Mac Danzig once, and he was.
And he didn't stink either.
What'd you say, Blue?
There's a documentary coming out called From the Ground Up. You can go on find on Instagram, and I was in it. Jake Shields was in it.
Nice.
Chris Webber, which was an Olympian wrestler, right? He's vegan. I think
He's a basketball player, Chris Weber. The guy called Timeout.
Not Chris Webber. I'm thinking. No. I think he was no wrestler.
Called Timeout.
Maybe it's Chris something else. I
Chris
think
Webber.
it's Chris
He wanted
Webber.
some vegan food. So,
And then it's really good. It's all about professional athletes that are vegan and
is
vegetarian.
Morgan a vegan?
No.
Have you ever tried to convert him at all?
I did. I did try it. Yeah. Well, I didn't try. I just.
So if he's not a vegan and you swallow, are you technically not a vegan anymore? Because it seems like he might have some stuff in him that. Okay, all right. So let's talk Bellator MMA that happened last Friday night. I'm just saying, are you a vegan, Alan?
No, not at all.
No. All right, thanks.
Hey, what up?
Is your girl a vegan?
No.
Nice. All right.
I'm gonna keep my answer.
His
short.
wife is from Thailand. So hot, gorgeous. She's 60, but she's very pretty girl.
Oh my God, this reminds me. Yes. Okay. So last time I did the podcast. Here,
Yes.
You remember? You've got to remember this. I didn't see anything at the time. You remember? Okay. So we were doing the podcast here, and Adam's fiance comes in the door.
Yeah.
It's the first time I had met her.
Yeah.
And she came in and she gave us all some drinks, and then she went to the couch over here about like 10 feet away, and she was wearing a very short like dress or
Right.
skirt at the time.
Okay,
I know
where are we going with
remember
this? All right, go on.
He's getting
she
real
was
nervous.
putting her groceries or whatever she had down right there, man, and she was bending over, bro,
You can see
and
her
her
butt?
butt slipped out a couple of times, and I kind of caught it, and I kind of ducked and tried to look the other way, but I kept my eye on Adam the whole
thank
time,
you.
bro.
Thank you for telling me this.
And you kept looking, bro. And do you remember that? Do you?
No,
remember this? You don't
Hanato was here
remember this?
too. Hanato, was he looking? He must.
What's that?
Hanato
was right here.
Oh,
He didn't see it because it was behind. He would have been a hound dog, bro.
Oh, that would have been horrible.
But she had like a little butt slip right there, and so I was trying to ignore it.
Right.
But I could tell you were beamed in on it, man. You saw it too, and then she kept doing stuff. She kept bending over and like grabbing stuff, and you were talking during the show the whole time with your eyes on your fiance for like 5 minutes, bro. And I forgot to bring it up at the end of the show.
It was like, remember that?
I'm sure it happened. I'm sure it 100% happened.
He was watching.
I remember
happened.
seeing you like with a worried look on your face while you were.
I was worried about Hanato. I wasn't worried about you at all. I was waiting for Hanato to make some fucking comment about her.
Yeah. You know, no, I wish you. I was hoping you would remember that.
Oh, God, I could just picture him. Oh man, thank God I'm happy he was sitting there. So, all right, let's talk about the Bellator. Daniel Strauss lost. That sucked. I wanted Daniel Strauss to win.
I was like, dude, do they just keep giving each other?
They got to give him a tune-up fight. They can't just. He wins the fight. He wins the belt.
Fourth fight.
He wins the belt from Pitbull, and they give him the next fight against Pitbull, right?
Well, because while he was injured for over a year,
you said the fourth fight. What
against Pitbull?
Pitbull and Strauss.
Oh, really?
This was their fourth.
Their fourth meeting.
Their fourth meeting.
That's crazy.
In Bellator, and I think
were they all championship fights?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
But they've like passed it back and forth. But with Strauss out that long, the landscape of the division just crumbled.
Oh my God, it's funny because they kept talking about how good
Georgie can't make weight. You got all these guys.
They were talking about how good that guy's guillotine is. Like Jimmy Smith, I like Jimmy Smith. He's actually a really good commentator. He was talking about, yeah, man, this guy's guillotine. He had me in it, and my head popped. And within 5 seconds, he had Strauss in that same guillotine. And I was like, oh God, yeah, dude. Like I texted Strauss like, hey man, hope you're okay, but keep it up, keep your head up. And he writes back, man, I'm good. I just got to keep my feet in the water. And I just got to keep my feet wet. And I almost wanted to be like, I thought you guys don't like to swim, but it might have been
too soon.
It might have been too soon, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm happy. Alima McFarlane, the Hawaiian, looked fucking dope. That girl is the truth. She's what, 4-0 now. She won her fight. I like how they have a 125-pound division in Bellator. Can you make 125, Heather?
Yeah. I fought 125 at the beginning of my career, but I was at that time actually walking around 126.
What do you walk around now at?
Like 130.
You walk around 130?
Yeah, I'm probably a little bit more than that right now just because I haven't been training full time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that this girl looks really good. She's Hawaiian girls are the best. Hawaiian girls are just. I remember when I was doing comedy in UCLA, and I was giving out flyers every day to like the sorority houses to get them to come to the show.
Was that when you were at the brewery?
Yeah, at the Westwood Brewing Company, and I ended up and they hated me because they had every Monday night they had announcements, and anyone could come make an announcement while they're having. It's all a bunch 50 sorority girls. Dressed up to the fucking max, and they're ready to eat dinner. People come in and they're like, hey, tomorrow it's the Battle of the Bands. So I kept going in but I didn't go to the school. So they're like, who the fuck is this guy just walking into our sorority house? But I knew that if I had sorority girls come to the comedy show, they'd be good shows, because then comics will show up. But eventually they got fucking sick, and they actually put a super soaker by my head. Like when I came in, they're like, you're not allowed in to this fucking... So I ended up banging this Hawaiian sorority chick in the sorority house, which she was hot, but I also asked revenge for these fucking, I got you guys back. So anyway, that's my Hawaiian girl story.
But that's why they're the best.
Yeah, exactly. No, they're just like Hawaiian people in general.
She was a good
don't
lay.
Get offended by anybody. She was a good lay. Yeah, exactly. She was a good lay. I think Hawaiian people are just, they don't ever get offended. And I just think the whole Asian thing, they just seem like they're fun people.
I lived in Hawaii for 2 years.
Why?
I worked as a photographer.
Oh, nice. Where?
Shooting doing underwater photography, surf photography, and ATV photography.
How was it?
It was great. It was I made more money than I'd ever made, and it was definitely like I worked hard.
How old were you doing this?
This was 2000. I was like 25, 26.
Nice.
Yeah.
So were you like? I could picture you like walking on the beach barefoot, like picking up dudes, or no? Did that happen?
No, I was working on the beach, so there were dudes picking me up, but I was the one.
Were you married to that guy at the time?
No.
I
met a guy there though, and I hired him to work for me, and he was one of the photographers on the beach because I had 2 contracts at one point. Like,
you guys started dating?
Yeah, yeah. No, we were dating, and then I hired him.
Oh,
yeah.
That's very nice of you.
Yeah.
I was completely wrong about AJ McKee. I was like, this is the fight where he's gonna lose. I go, this is it. I go, this guy's gonna lose.
Oh, he head kicked that guy.
Yeah, and then I'm watching SportsCenter. It's on the fucking top 5 highlights. The guy I picked to fucking lose. But McKee, I like McKee. The kid's got talent.
He's doing his thing, man.
He's got talent. But Bellator did a shitty fucking job promoting these fights because no one even knew it. No one knew about it. Everyone on my Twitter feed was like UFC, and they had Ed Ruth on the card. And the other fucking... Tyrell Fortune, and they didn't put it on the main card after they both won.
Man, that's a good intriguing fight coming up in Bellator with Shinzo Machida is going to be fighting that Irish
James
guy.
Gallagher.
Yeah.
That guy's good, man. Yeah, the 2 fights that I've seen of him, he looks very impressive
That's
on the feet, and he's supposed to be amazing on the ground. I haven't even seen his ground game yet. So him against Shinzo. Shinzo's my boy. I'm hoping Shinzo could pull it off. Shinzo's like 40 now, though, and this is a young kid. So.
But even that, like, after AJ wins, he's like, yo, he's like, I did this move called the head kick. He's like, this is the Miko Crow Cop. Like, he didn't say Marco. He said Miko. And he goes, and then I know that Gallagher's fighting Lyoto's brother. Like, dude, you should actually give the guy's name in the organization.
Yeah.
It was like he was 0 for 2 on names during the call-outs.
That guy Gallagher, I think, was calling out AJ his last win. And,
he was calling out AJ. He was calling out Bubba on Twitter. He was calling out a lot of people.
Yeah, he's kind of got that Connor.
Oh, he's totally, yeah, but he's good, though.
Not quite there yet.
I'm saying in terms of
he's
outspoken, he's got the bravado, like you said, and he's got the confidence, and he backs it up. So
yeah.
Did you watch the boxing match on Saturday night? Andre Berto versus Sean Porter.
I might have seen the highlight, though.
So Sean Porter is now my new favorite boxer because he goes in head first and just smothers guys and hits them. But he must have headbutted this guy 7 times.
Oh, yeah.
But he headbutted himself, too. So then, like he was cut, the other guy was cut. Like before the rounds, the doctors were seeing both fighters. So then he wins, right? And he kind of hurt him by headbutt in the 11th round. At the end of the fight, he's like, "Yo, man, sorry about the headbutts." That was like in the victory speech. He goes, "My bad," right? He goes, "We worked on not headbutting people in camp, but
we worked on not
I swear." I go, "This is a fucking joke." He goes, "We worked on not headbutting people, but I guess I messed up," right? That was his victory speech. Then they go to Berto. They're like, "What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna retire?" He's like, "I don't know. My head hurts." Right? It's like it's just I'm like,
you couldn't have written it any better.
Super intelligent conversations happening.
It's weird because it doesn't seem to happen a lot in sparring, but it always happens in a fight.
Why aren't you wearing
Am I
headgear?
right? Yeah.
Aren't you wearing headgear in sparring?
No, I don't wear headgear.
Yeah, me neither.
When you're boxing, why are you?
But am I right?
Dude,
like you don't, and you'll go hard in sparring, but it just doesn't happen.
Very rarely.
Sorry about the headbutt.
Dude, I've never seen a guy who goes,
I mean,
"Yo,
it
this guy's
happens,
a legend,
but
man."
not
My
nearly.
bad.
I've never been cut.
Yeah, I've never been. Yeah, me neither. Well,
That's
in
the
Ultimate
funniest. I'm
Fighter,
gonna have to go
right?
find that on like YouTube or something.
I have it
Went off the
DVR'd.
mat,
That sounds
like a
absolutely
bridge.
hilarious.
So funny.
And
Was there
and
BK?
jiu-jitsu.
We can't go. One of us has to talk. What was that?
I was saying that I've never. He said he's never got cut in practice, in training, and I said that I had in the Ultimate Fighter. I was rolling with Rose.
Yeah.
When she went in for a darce, when she went to clasp her hands, I bridged, and then we went off the mat, and I
busted
my eye hit the concrete, and I had
you got cut and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, there was bare knuckle
But that's
boxing
not
over the
really-
weekend. Melvin Gillard won.
Wait,
I saw that.
Melvin was in it.
Yeah, Melvin won his bare knuckle boxing.
He
match.
knocked him out.
Yes, he won. I retweeted it, and then people were actually then complaining that there was raps. They had raps on. They're like, "It doesn't look like bare knuckle to me." I guess the raps are optional.
It's like Thai fight where they kind of usually they wrap them or something.
Yeah,
make it look.
Thai use a rope, don't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if it's literally ropes, but it looks like.
But
it.
all that does is no padding. All it is for your wrist not to cock
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
When it's like that little bit of gauze ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
I just watching a lot of movies out of Thailand, and I see them using the twine to wrap their hands.
Dipped in glass.
Yeah, no, that's a Taipei deathmatch.
With the roll
That's
quarters.
ECW.
Yeah.
That was ECW.
I used to have quarter rolls, yeah, for sure.
Really?
Oh yeah, back in the day, you never did that. Quarter rolls in your knuckles, just kind of it made you. I don't know. For some reason, you felt like you hit harder.
I remember when I was in 7th grade or 8th grade, we used to go fight other towns, at the fair.
Yeah.
And
From the Simpsons.
Other towns.
Yeah, we would.
Springfield versus Shelbyville.
We'd be like, "Yo, Oceanside's fighting Rockville Center tonight," or "Oceanside's fighting Baldwin," or "Oceanside's fighting whatever."
What is this, West Side Story?
And we would go to the fair to fight these people. And,
the fair, man. The fair is a good place.
You were the
to
main
scrap,
attraction.
I didn't even want to fight. I
More
just
than the bearded
I
lady?
just wanted to. I was just in my towns. I had to go rep my town. But the kids had brass knuckles. They would have brass knuckles on them, and I was like, "You guys are fucking crazy."
You're like, I like the Ferris wheel better. See ya.
Dude, I remember one time we went to this fair, and my friend Seth, he took some kid's hat and ran away with it. We used to steal hats. That was our thing. So dumb. And so
Did your friend sit at the entrance ramp at a lot of fights?
Oh,
because
yeah.
the guy's walking out. They're always trying to steal the fucking
So we
hats.
stole this kid's hat, and then like all of a sudden the kid came back with like 80 kids, right? And it was like 12 of us. So we're walking. I'm like, fuck, there's 80 people fucking. So I just started running, and then everyone started running, and then my friends all got beat up, and they got mad at me for running away. I'm like, I didn't steal the fucking hat, and it was really dumb. So anyway, it was a life and times. So Alan,
Yo.
Stipe Miocic, Dos Santos, who do you like?
I like both guys,
Right.
but if you're gonna force me to pick one, yeah, Stipe, man. I think Stipe is gonna retain it.
Even though it's in Brazil.
Brazil.
Why is he fighting this fight in
Well,
Brazil?
you know, if it went to the judges, but it ain't going to the judges, so I think. Well, you know what? Let me think about this for a second. Stipe is fighting Dos Santos. This guy, I mean, he's taken some fucking beatings for like 5 rounds. It doesn't seem. Has he ever been knocked out?
Who, Junior?
Yeah.
Junior's been TKO'd.
He has by who?
He got
By
TKO'd by
Kane,
Overeem.
right?
He got
Didn't
TKO'd
Kane?
by Kane.
Oh, Kane did TKO him?
Kane
I thought
TKO'd
Kane
him in
beat the
either the
shit.
second or the
Didn't they
third
like have
fight.
2 fights where he beat the shit
Yeah,
out of him
I
for like
think-
5 rounds
but
and
he
it was hard to watch?
TKO'd him in the 5th.
Yeah.
In one of them, and that was the one that Junior was like, I don't remember anything after the first round.
But either
Like,
way, Stipe has the power to put him away, and he's just.
it is a rematch, though.
He seems like he could be doing it right now. Man, I can't believe. Sorry, man, I got to change the subject, but I don't even watch football that much anymore. But fuck, the Saints just acquired fucking Adrian Peterson.
Which is wrong
That's
because he
crazy.
beats his kid. He's not a saint.
True. That whole, is that true? I hope that's not true,
There you
man.
go. That's
He's,
a new
he's, a,
bit
he's a
right
super
there.
talent.
Not
He did.
tonight.
Did he beat his kid with the?
I remember
with the-
something about that in the news.
Yeah, with like a switch or something.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, he got.
The
That was a couple
Switch?
years ago, right?
Yeah.
What's a switch?
It's like
Switch is like, we used to break it off outside.
yeah, it's like
a
black people
long
use it to
weed
beat
or
their kids, and
that's-
like white people as well. Not all black people.
Yeah, I
use
got
it.
my grandmother used to beat me with a switch. So
Yeah, it's a
not
painful thing. You don't want to get beat with a switch.
Anyway,
I
yeah.
think that's a new bid for you. That's like
Adrian
that's-
Peterson
Yeah,
is
it's
insane.
it's not
That's
bad.
So
right.
Adrian Peterson signed with the Saints. Well,
Thanks for ruining the joke that I just
Yeah.
made. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You gave up too soon.
It's all good.
I give up on.
I
a lot
got
of things.
Stipe. I got Stipe.
Heather
Agreed. Stipe.
and CB.
Stipe.
All right. Joanna Jędrzejczyk against Jessica Andrade. Who we like?
Oh man, I think Joanna's gonna keep it, but it could. Jessica has definitely got a really good chance. You know, I think if we never really seen Joanna on the ground, so let's see if Jessica gets her down. You know, I was expecting Jessica to take Angela Hill down, and she didn't really. Did she? She might have gotten 1 or 2, but
No, she didn't take her down.
oh, she didn't take her down. Okay, so. Yeah, I don't know why she was just working on her striking to get ready for.
So if we were to
Joanna, but-
sum this up, and we have a lot of them here.
Oh. Well, this is a pretty big fight.
who do you
It's
like?
a champion fight.
I know, I'm fucking with you. Who do you like?
I'm gonna say Joanna.
Really?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, this is gonna be a dope fight, but I gotta stick with the champ on this one.
I'm picking Jessica for the upset. CB?
I've been picking Jessica for the upset for
Yeah?
months,
Yeah, I don't
Are we
know.
putting money?
and I don't think it goes.
I'll put money on it.
And I don't think it goes.
How about your kid? How about your kid at my wedding? Okay, if I win, your kid doesn't come to my.
Okay, if you win, my kid doesn't come.
No, I'm kidding. I want
But
your, I
if
want
we
your kid
win,
there. He's cute.
I'm bringing.
You're bringing more
No,
kids?
I'm bringing
Nice, awesome.
I don't think they touch.
You're bringing the dog
Then
too.
Bubba can bring- yeah, Buster and
For 5 rounds, I don't think it touches the ground. If it even goes 5.
Maya versus Masvidal. This is a fight close to your heart.
man, this is interesting. But I mean, I gotta go with Maya, man. Mazadov is he's a fun guy to watch, and he's improved his grappling a lot, but not improved enough against Maya.
How do you think you do against either of these guys?
I think I do well, man. I mean, obviously Maya would be the toughest. He's kind of matchup-wise the toughest guy for anybody to go against, just because he's so specifically dominant in that one position. Mazadov's really good everywhere, a really good striker, but I like my chances against both of them, man.
Heather?
I got to go with Masvidal. Actually, I think that the confidence that he's got. You know, he's a friend of mine as well, and I really just think that. They're both great, and it comes down to mindset and basically who's going to put it all together that night. But I'm going to go with Masvidal.
Where did you guys meet? You guys became friends at Jackson's, or?
How did I meet him? I think it through Colby Covington, who I'm friends with, who I met
Through John?
No,
He was John's roommate in college.
I met him. I don't know. I don't remember how I met him.
John who?
Jones.
Oh,
They said
I
they used
think
to
I
beat up
met him at
townies.
the VIP room once.
They said they used to beat up townies together in Iowa.
Who?
John Jones and Colby Covington.
Oh, them two.
Them two and Joe Soto. All three of them lived together, and they used to beat up fucking town. But I don't know if Colby likes John. It seems like John rubs a lot of his former friends like don't really fuck with him anymore.
Maybe he was different before all the fame.
When I met John before he was famous, he was the nicest guy. He was like, I remember being in a room with him and Tom Sizemore, and Tom had no idea for the MMA awards, had no idea who he was. And I was explaining to Tom how good John Jones was, and John was this humble, fucking cool dude. And then I saw him a year later, and it was a different person.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm also basing people on two fucking chance meetings. Like
that's exactly it. I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but yeah, when you meet people, you don't even know if they're in a bad mood, they had shit going on, or
yeah, exactly.
There are so many times people probably go, Adam's a fucking dick. Like last night, this fucking comic was like, you ignored me for fucking 2 hours. That's why I left. I didn't ignore you. I was running a show. I got fucking this. I got the girl moving in. Yeah. I got fucking 75 comics. Sometimes people think if you're not just focused on them that you're ignoring them. Fucking bitches. All right, Frankie Edgar versus Yair Rodriguez.
Damn. You go first, man.
Frankie, I think he's a different league. I think Yair's good, but I think he's flashy, and I think sometimes flash can sometimes sway people into thinking they're better than they actually are.
Yeah. I might have said Frankie. I might have agreed with you on Yair 2 fights ago. But fuck, he just looks so dominant.
BJ Penn, I mean...
I know. It's hard to say against BJ Penn because it was him able to open up all of his weapons on that fight. But I kind of see this also like Frankie, when Frankie fought... what's his name? The former champ.
Aldo.
Remember how Aldo just stuffed all his takedowns and just beat him up on the feet? Like I think Yair is at that level now where he might be able to do that. Stuff the takedowns, stay long and athletic, and just pick him apart on the feet.
CB?
Oh, I got Edgar. I think it's going to be a little bit easier than everybody thinks. It's a good fight, but this is the ultimate test. If Yair beats Edgar, you cannot deny him a shot.
Heather?
I got to go with Edgar. Yep.
Now, by the way, people saying that Cub Swanson does not deserve a shot by beating Artem. Like, then people are only going to fight number one contenders. Like, that's... Yeah. Like, what do you want him to do? He won the fight. He dominated. He won 50-45, maybe 49-46. But what do you... Then you go, oh, well, he didn't beat a guy. Well, then who's going to fucking fight you, Alan? No, I mean, no offense, but you're not ranked in the top 15. But you... That's bullshit. Because you should be getting these fights. Yeah. So
I know what you mean, man. I mean, you can't always fight. You can't always go 3-2-1. It doesn't always work that way. So.
And especially you're headlining a card. If you're headlining a card like that, then I think Cub does deserve.
So he was 4. Who's 3 and 2?
The problem is that he lost, right? 145, right? We're talking the champ, which is you got. You
got Aldo Holloway.
And Holloway fucked up Cub pretty bad.
Yeah,
that's that.
And Edgar already has a win over.
And Edgar fucked up Cub too. Mm-hmm. So now that's the problem. But
and you got your
I like Cub
creeping.
But didn't Edgar just get it? No, did he have a title shot recently? No,
UFC 200.
Right, he fought Aldo. Right.
Yeah.
So if Yair beats Frankie, Yair and Cub
for the eliminator.
Yeah,
that's good.
I don't know if they're going to do that though. I think they'd mix Cub with somebody else and put Yair at the winner of Holloway Aldo.
And then finally another great card. There are a lot of really good fights in this card.
Oh man, this is a good bang.
Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
Fuck. I feel like it's the same fighter.
Yeah, they're kind of. Eddie's a little bit more wrestling based, but they're both really good boxer, heavy-handed guys. I'm gonna go with the Lafayette boy Poirier.
Just because he's from Lafayette?
That's all. I mean, he's a fun fighter to watch.
Dude,
but
I've been to New Orleans. New Orleans is the most fucked up place I've ever been to. I went to Mardi Gras, and dudes ripping out their dicks, right? Which was fun. Like, women show you their tits and their vaginas, you pop your dick. And they were getting arrested left and right by these cops that they can bribe off the cop and be like, yo, here's 10 grand and you're out of jail. It was the most disturbing, disgusting thing. It was a third world country police force there. I've never seen that kind of police force.
I mean, like you go do Bourbon Street if you've never been, and after you've done Bourbon Street, you kind of steer away from it just because it's dirty and full of people come out of the woodworks. Literally, they come, like Louisiana is a bunch of fucking swampland. So all these people that live in the fucking swamps, they're headed to New Orleans. They're headed to Bourbon Street the first time, they go into the city. So you don't want to be mixed up in that too long, especially if you're going with your girlfriend.
But that police force, I could see why, like when Katrina happened, they all quit. They're like, because they're making $10,000 a dick on fucking Mardi Gras. They're like, fuck doing actual police work. I mean, some of them are good, but is it a corrupt over there?
I don't know if it's corrupt, but I mean, like, it's like anything, man. Like you said, like that's it. There's police at Mardi Gras doing exactly that. They're giving young kids the drinking too young, tickets for drinking underage, and they're giving people tickets for nudity and all that. And so yeah, you can make a little money right there.
They're like, yo, here, we're gonna put you in this box. Give me $10,000, you're out. I'm like, that's not how law works. Like,
wait, you arrested for showing your?
No. First of all,
But that's what they do.
You have to earn that.
Yeah, they put you in handcuffs. They put you in some fucking your face down on some dirty ass club floor for like an hour, and then you ended up trying to bribe them. Yeah, I've been that guy, man. I've been handcuffed at Mardi Gras, like face down on the club floor.
What did you do to do that?
I think we were fighting or something, but they ended up letting me go. But yeah, they'll just stick you in a fucking room in some nasty place that you don't want to be and see what happens.
It's fucking crazy. All right, so finally, Cejudo Pettis. I can't see Henry Cejudo losing this fight.
That's another interesting one.
But I mean, we're talking about a gold medalist wrestler.
Yeah.
But he hasn't always fought like a gold medalist wrestler. I mean, he becomes a striker half the time of his fights.
He's a good striker, though.
Mm-hmm.
Is he?
I think so.
He's gotten a lot better, yeah.
He's got a lot better. I don't know if he's good yet.
I would say
he's good.
I think so.
He's
for a wrestler.
He's like a Golden Glove background. He's got like a boxing background,
Yeah.
and then I know he was also spending a lot of time at CSA as well, working on his Muay Thai and everything. So
who do you think wins this fight?
I'm gonna go with Cejudo.
Yeah.
I would probably take the safer bet in Cejudo,
Yeah. And then Christoph Jocko. Isn't that the guy with the crazy knockouts?
He knocked out Tam McCrory.
Oh, and he's fighting David Branch coming in from the
WSOF.
former World Series fighting.
Professional Fighters League.
Yeah. That's going to be a good fight. I mean, Branch is good.
Yeah, he's good, man. I mean, you become a champion in 2 weight classes in that organization. He's fighting tough guys, but I just want to see how he fares against some of the UFC talent, because I didn't really know a lot of the guys he was fighting in the World Series of fighting, although he looked very good.
He was fighting like my cousins and stuff. And
I mean, you could tell he's got talent, but he was fighting guys not on his level.
This is his return, though, to the UFC. He already had a stint.
Did he?
Yeah, and he didn't do too great.
Yeah.
And then Marlon Moraes now is in the UFC, right?
Marlon Moraes is in the UFC. And
who's he fighting?
He's got a tough fight.
He's fighting.
He's fighting
a Sunsao or
he's fighting.
Did he get the
Sunsao? I believe.
I thought he was petitioning for the Jimmy Rivera fight, and I guess they gave him a Sunsao.
I think it's a Sunsao, man. That's a
I think
both
a
guys.
Sunsao is going to take a nice L that night.
Really?
Yeah, Marlon Moraes. This kid is legit. Like him and Justin Gaethje were the 2 best WSOF talents.
My friend Tracy, she's like this sweet, pretty producer of this of all these shows like Pawn Stars. So Joey Varner invites her to a fight. Oh, I work for the WSOF. Come to a fight. And within 3 seconds, the Diaz brothers are fighting fucking Khabib's family. Yeah, she's like, "Get me the fuck out of here!" and the fight rolled over into the concession stand. She's like, "I've never seen anything like it before." It was 209 versus
It almost blows my mind when people come to a fight and they're like, "This is my first fight," and I don't know. I'm just like, really? Because this is what we do every freaking weekend.
Yeah.
Every weekend we're cornering or at fights or some shit like that. And so when people are just making it to their first fight, I don't even know how to coach them through it. I'm like, I don't even know, because I'm never really in the audience. I'm always behind the scenes, just warming a guy up. So just sit here, get some popcorn, find somebody you know.
Well, I told you, I brought my girl to the fight, and we watched the Mark Hunt, Overeem. And he gets kneed. It wasn't her first fight, but I was like, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. The whole place, you could hear it, and everyone has their jaw dropped. And I look over at my girl, and she's ordering dresses from China or something. I go, "Did you see that?" She's like, "Oh, I heard it." I'm like, "Okay." And then I told her, I said, "Baby, I don't have to take you here. I could take someone else that might appreciate it more. Who are you gonna take?" I'm like, "No, I'm not taking a girl. I'm just saying that I could take." So then she said, the next fight starts, and the person's walking out, and she goes, "I love this fight." I'm like, it hasn't started yet, babe. The music is on.
Dude, I remember years ago when they had Glory at what's the other one? Not the Staples Center, but the old one.
Nokia?
Forum.
The Forum, thank you. And were you there do you remember when Joe Schilling knocked out Simon Marcus? Do you remember that fight? It was like the Glory tournament or whatever, and this is like their rematch. And anyway, long story short, they were banging, and everybody was on their fucking feet, and Joe Schilling was stuck, like step back, switch stance, knocked out Simon Marcus, his mouthpiece went flying, and he was like unconscious down, face down on the mat, and everybody went fucking nuts. And I remember Eddie Bravo was there, dude, sitting front row just texting away like some weird-ass conspiracy shit, you know what I mean? And I remember seeing him the next day, and I was like, bro, how about that fucking Joe Schilling fight, though? Was that not one of like the best fights you've ever seen in his life? And he was like, which one was that? Who was that?
God.
And I just couldn't believe. We've always had this like, striking is better than jiu-jitsu argument kind of thing. You know, he loves jiu-jitsu, I love my striking. But I was like, Eddie, are you fucking human not to like be going nuts? Even if you don't understand fighting, somebody would still love that fight. But he could care less watching that shit. I thought he was crazy after that shit, man. It was such a
my
good
girl
fight.
was like, there was one fight. There was a girl fight, and the girl had like pink streaks in her hair, and then she was like, she had blonde hair, and the other girl was bleeding. So she got blood all over her hair. And my girl was like, oh my God. I'm like, oh, what? Because she was getting fucked up. And she's like, I don't know if that's going to come out of her hair. You're going to need, that's what she was concerned about.
She's worried about.
It's like,
she can get that blood out.
I guess that's good, though. Because if I had a girl that was like too into fighting, like too much of I don't know, it's probably good to have like a yin and yang, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, your boyfriend's a very effeminate man, Heather. So
What? He's a wrestler.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Is
But
he a fighter? He used to wrestle? Or
No,
he used to
he wrestles Greco at the Olympic Training Center.
Gotcha.
yeah, he's
Is
like
this what you're talking about? That fight?
Yes. Okay, you were there. Or you got it signed?
No, I got
That
a
was
picture
though.
of
That
it
was
and he signed it. And
Dude,
Joe Schilling signed
that
it.
fight right there put.
As soon as he said it, I was like,
that fight
I think
right
I know
there-
what he's talking
A
about.
lot of people knew who Joe was, like
Nice.
that watched Strike, Muay Thai kind of followed. But that one right there kind of, I think, made him a star. He had already actually won the Glory belt, but then Simon Marcus had beat him, I think, twice in Muay Thai and Lion Fight. But this was kind of the rematch here in Glory and kickboxing. But yeah, when Joe knocked fucking Simon Marcus face down, knocked the fuck out, mouthpiece went flying. It was fucking.
how does he
nuts,
keep
man.
smoking cigarettes, Joe Schilling? How does he do that?
And in that tournament, he went and smoked a cigarette after. I know, it's crazy, man. He's got that, like, it's funny, Joe kind of lives up to that, like, he kind of plays the bad boy role, but he kind of does it, you know what I'm saying? He's got the squad with the Diaz brothers, and he smokes cigarettes in
Seems like
between
a nice
fights.
guy, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think
very
he plays,
quiet.
he plays the role a little bit for everybody, but that's kind of him, you know what I'm saying? Like fuck, if you're beating up, if you're knocking people out and smoking cigarettes in between, then
More
you're a
power
bad
to you.
motherfucker.
That was
Yeah,
that was my favorite. That was my favorite boxer was Ricardo Mayorga for a while because he would go in there
Same
and he
thing.
would smoke cigarettes in the ring, like
Oh.
after the fight, and start drinking beers. And he was actually like he talked all this shit. And there was one fight where like. He was fighting Vernon Forrest. He actually knocked out Vernon Forrest, who had just beat Mosley. So it was like a huge fucking upset. And his technique was horrible. He would throw like gang punches, but like you didn't know what, like you were saying, you weren't used to it, so it was effective till people figured him out. Like okay, But I remember him looking at his corner in between rounds, and he goes. And he goes blah 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 whatever he's speaking, and then
he was asking for a cigarette.
no, but like the translator goes, that black guy, he hits hard. But he didn't say that black guy. But that's what the translator said. I was like,
That black guy.
yeah, I was like, all right, let's. But he actually to be like, they said he was a nice guy, like Mayorga. Like I even talked to Dean Thomas, who was supposed to fight him in MMA, and he said that like once the cameras were on, he was a whole different guy. But like off the cameras, he was a sweet guy.
Yeah.
He actually bought electricity for his whole town after he won.
Oh fuck.
Like that, like in like Costa Rica or something, wherever
Wow.
he's from. He bought everyone electricity. Which is like,
That's dope.
yeah,
For
yeah.
like a night.
I don't know. I just know he did that. I thought that was pretty cool of him. A lot of people don't do that. Anyway, Heather, what do you got coming up?
Just continuing to train a little bit here and there with Benny the Jet and going up to 10th Planet, and I might go to Kings tonight and check that out. It's cool because I'm doing the guard lab thing. Like I even talked to Black House. I know Alan's wearing a Black House hat, and the Isla had asked and invited me to come and train there. So, it's kind of cool. I get to maybe go and just check out places and get to know people. And then when I have a fight, then I can really hone in one place and do
Nice.
it. Yeah.
Alan, what do you got coming up?
Man, fight wise, I'm trying to get something in the books. I'm looking at targeting. I'd like to fight International Fight Week. I think that's July 7th and 8th. There's 2 fights instead of 3, but that's man, it's close. It's a good time. I don't feel like going international again, bro. You fight internationally, you got to go 3 or 4 days longer. You got to pay all this money for your coaches and flights, and then then you get your purse at the end of the fight, and they hit you with the international tax, and 30% of your fucking purse is gone. Boom. So I'm like, every time I go international, it's like I enjoy the experience, but afterward I'm like, fuck that, dude. I just want to go fight in LA or in Vegas where it's easy. I could come back home in 4 days and I'm not getting taxed out of my fucking ass. So,
I didn't get taxed. I was in Rotterdam and Mexico.
And they didn't hit you right away? Man, when I fought in...
you didn't pay your taxes for like...
I did, remember? I did. That's why I was late.
Right.
Australia hit me really hard with the taxes, like immediately 30-35% from
They just
from
took
my
it
purse
out
is gone.
before you even got it.
They handed me with the taxes gone. And then the same thing here in the last one in England, man. They hit me hard with the taxes. So trying to avoid that. But yeah, Las Vegas International Fight Week. Just waiting on Sean Shelby to send me anybody, man. I wanna get in there.
Who are we calling out? Anybody want to call out?
I don't really.
You want an RDA,
I don't have any. Yeah, I don't have anybody, man. It's weird. I haven't been back to Black House in a minute because I just been traveling and shit. But I think RDA is training at Black House now. I've been seeing pictures of him. So
Is that gonna be awkward?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so because I didn't have any beef against him. It was just, again, it was like, look, I wanted a big name, and he said I'm moving up to the welterweights. I called him out. It didn't happen. So I don't have any grudge against him as long as he doesn't. We'll see what happens though.
What about Neil Magny?
I would absolutely fight, and I'd fight anybody in a heartbeat, but definitely Neil Magny.
Would you also jump on
the thing is, I'm coming off of a loss, so I don't know where I stand with the UFC. Do I have the power to call out people right now that are ranked above me, or do they want to give me a guy that's kind of floating around the 30s? I don't really know where I stand with Sean Shelby. I'm waiting for him to come and just offer me anybody.
Cowboy?
I've never said no to a fight. Of course,
That'd be a good fight for you, Cowboy.
You could fucking say, and I'm not trying to sound stupid, but any fucking body, and I would say yes.
Wait, Rick Story's ranked number 13 right now in the world? That can't be right.
No, Rick Story's not even in the UFC anymore.
Oh,
right?
these are just rankings.
Okay, yeah. I thought Rick, for some reason, was not on the roster anymore.
Yeah.
I would love to fight a good name like this, man.
Would you jump on the Anaheim card? If you didn't,
I would. I think Anaheim is July 29th.
Yeah, it's 3 weeks after the.
So that's kind of my backup. I don't want to wait too long. I think International Fight Week is about 9 or 10 weeks from now, and I get antsy. So I'd like to fight then. If that didn't happen, then I'd probably elect for the Anaheim because the only other one in July I think is like Long Island, New York. I think there's a New York card, which I would do. But if I could just fight in Anaheim and go home that night, then I'm down to do that. But yeah, so anyway, dude, looking for a fight and still doing the podcast with Karen Bryant, MMA Heat. Check it out.
CB, what do you got?
Nothing.
Awesome. All right, so I will be in Tulsa, Oklahoma this week. Tulsa, Oklahoma, as well as the Hollywood Laugh Factory next Wednesday. And then I'm going to be in Fresno at the Standard, May 17th. And then in July, International Fight Week at the Stratosphere, as well as Fort Myers, July 13th to the 16th. And by the way, this podcast is not over because I interviewed two-time national champion, three-time All-American, coach of Boston University, Carl Adams. Before the show, I interviewed him because that was just the way it worked out. But Carl Adams, I went to his wrestling camp back in the day, and he's got some really cool MMA supplies now, which if you go to MMADrillmasters.com, he's got all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh, that's cool, man. He's got the wall-mounted double leg to shoot in on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like those, man. I saw GSP doing that one time, and I thought that's a good way to be able to like rep some drills, rep some shooting doubles and stuff.
So he's got the Snap and Shoot Plus, the Jouban legs, I don't know, the Takedown Defender.
How much are these things, man?
And the Iowa Snapper and the dummy. So we'll look at the prices, but we're going to talk to Carl Adams, who is Dan Gable's teammate.
MMA Drill Masters. Let me take a picture of this, man. I want to look this up because, you know what I'm saying though. Like sometimes you want to go to the gym, you can go drill punches on a bag, but when you want to drill wrestling, if you don't have a partner who's game, it's hard to fucking shadowbox wrestling. You can only shadowbox wrestling for so long.
Love it. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Heather. Thank you,
Thanks,
Alan. Thank you, CB. Thank you, Birchak. Thank you, Carl Adams. And check out the interview right now with Carl Adams.
Yes, it is.
Hey, can you hear me? This is Adam Hunter. You're on the MMA Roasted podcast. It is an honor to have you on. How's it going, man?
It's going great, Adam. Thank you for calling me, and thanks for having me on your show. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I don't know if you know this. I went to your wrestling camp when I was in 8th grade. I went to at Boston University. It would change my life. One of the best camps I ever went to. You were there. You were a total class act. Got some great competition there. Learned a ton. So I've always wanted to thank you for that, man.
Well, you're welcome. You know, it's amazing how many people I've run into that have gone to that camp. Over the 33 years, it was about 20,000 students. So,
wow.
Thanks for the compliment. You know, obviously the staff and I really enjoyed working with the kids. So it's a lot of fun.
No problem, man. Now, Carl, to the listeners out there, Carl, you were a 2-time national champion and a 4-time All-American, correct?
2-time NCAA champion, 2-time national freestyle champion, 3-time NCAA All-American. I placed as a freshman, didn't place as a sophomore, and I won it my junior and senior year. And then I kept competing in freestyle, and I won the 73 and 75 national freestyle tournament.
Wow.
So you were pretty close.
Now that was for Iowa State. Did you wrestle against Iowa against Gable?
Gable and I were teammates.
Oh, you were teammates with Gable, right? He wrestled for Iowa State, right.
State. And when I was going to college out there, we actually never met Iowa University. However, I did wrestle against some of their wrestlers at the national tournament, in various tournaments along the way. But Dan and I were teammates my freshman and sophomore year. And then, you know, after he graduated, won the Worlds, won the Olympics, he became an assistant coach at Iowa. And then he became the head coach, and he was head coach there for 21 years. But I know Dan very well, though.
So you were there. Now, people who don't know this, Dan Gable is widely regarded as the best American wrestler of all time. He was a 4-time, I think, state champ in high school, right? He was a 4-time national. He was a 3-time national champ, but then lost his last match ever, and then went on to the Olympics and didn't get a point scored on him in any of his matches in the Olympics. So you were there when he lost his match?
Yeah, I was on that same team at that same national tournament. However, Dan was a 2-time national champ, because when Dan was at Iowa State, freshmen were not allowed to compete as true freshmen. Now, it was my first year, 1969, when that was the first year freshmen were allowed to compete at the NCAA tournament. In fact, I was the first NCAA All-American as a true freshman, and I was the only one that played that particular year. But yeah, Dan was a 3-time Iowa State champion, 2-time NCAA champion. He was a runner-up his senior year. That's the year he lost to Larry Owens in the finals, which kind of broke everyone's heart. And then he went on to win the Worlds and then the Olympics in 1972. Went through the Olympics, and you're right, he didn't have a point scored on him.
Now, let's be honest. Did you beat him up in practice? Was it you just rocking him? Was he able to beat you in practice?
Let me tell you something. Dan was one of the greatest that I had ever gone against. And although he was at a lower weight, in my sophomore year, it was Dan and then me. In my freshman year, the weight classes were different. So Dan would go out 2 weights before me. The weight class was 137. But Dan could pretty much go through everyone in the lineup, including me.
Wow.
And it was embarrassing. I still can't figure out how he was able to beat even our 190-pounder. Wow. Ben Peterson, for example, was an Olympic champion, 2-time national champ. I never saw Ben get the best of Dan Gable. And his weight class was 190 in college and 198 in the Olympic Games in 1972. In fact, Ben was a gold medalist in 1972 as well.
Wow.
But Dan could handle everyone on the team, even when he was 137 pounds.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I mean, now you were the coach at URI. Then they canceled the program because of Title IX. Then you go to BU. You were the BU coach for what, 15 years?
33 years. I was the head coach at BU. 33
years. Wow, I got to get my times right. 33 years. Now, why did they end the program?
Well, basically, it was the same type deal. My feeling about that was that a lot of times, you know, you have athletic directors that have their own agenda. And I think the big reason was because they wanted lacrosse. And I honestly feel like the athletic director didn't really care that much about wrestling and felt like it would be easy to remove us and put lacrosse in. You know, they brought lacrosse in as a full-time sport. And we were out. And basically, it was just that simple. Now, at Rhode Island, it was similar. We had an athletic director. I had been there 1 year. I was the rookie college coach of the year. We had an All-American. We won the conference. That very same year, in the fall, they decided to cancel the program. And I've watched this for many years. A lot of times, athletic directors come in and they have their own agenda.
Yep.
And they want to do it their way. And, you know, since 1972, it's been probably 300 programs that have gone by the wayside. In fact, it was a week ago that Boise State announced that they were dropping their program.
It's so ridiculous.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's so ridiculous because it's the cheapest sport ever. I mean, you need a mat and 2 people. I mean, that's such a cheap sport, and it's the most character-building sport in the world. Everybody that's ever wrestled, I started a program in Brentwood, California, a middle school program. There's not a kid out there at Brentwood, California. I started the middle school program out there, and then also the high school program at Palisades. There's not a kid ever that wrestled, right, as an adult that says, I regret wrestling. Never one. Never one kid.
Well, you're absolutely right. And I've taken a very strong look at this over the years. You know, I played a lot of different sports in junior high and high school, including football, soccer, lacrosse. There's nothing even close to wrestling as far as the lessons that you learn by competing. I think it prepares you so well for life. You know, and there's just nothing else out there like it. I mean, other sports are good as well. However, wrestling, I feel, is truly special. And you're absolutely right. And wrestlers, they talk about that long after their competitive days are over, how much the sport did for them. And so you're absolutely right about that. And they really appreciate the fact that they had an opportunity to do it after it's all said and done.
No, I mean, as a stand-up comedian now, I mean, there's not a day I go out there that, number one, I get better when things don't go well. So you learn from your mistakes. Number two, you're out there and you're like, as a comic, I have to make people laugh. I have to figure out a way to win. I got to be a problem solver. And it's exactly the way it is on the mat. I mean, you might be up against a guy who's stronger than you, who's bigger than you, who's tougher than you, who's more experienced, but you got to find a way to win. And that's a microcosm of every problem you're going to have in life.
You're absolutely right. And you know what? I did a little research on you, and you were a 4-time New England prep champion. And my thought was that Adam had to be pretty damn good because you had to win it as a ninth grader.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I look at what you're doing now, the success that you're having now, and you're a worker. You know, you're out there getting it done. And that's what wrestling teaches you. You don't fear failure, you know, and you failure as a way to succeed because, you know, when something doesn't go right, you go back and work on it and you figure out how to get it right.
Right.
And nothing is that better than the sport of wrestling. But I've paid attention to your success, you know, on the mat, and I'm looking at what you're doing now, and and how hard you work. And that's the essence of being a wrestler. You know, you really do learn how to compete in the game of life.
Thanks, Carl. I truly appreciate it. I got to ask you, so I watched the NCAAs this year, and it seems like a lot, like when I wrestled, when you got a takedown, you got a takedown pretty much. Like when you went in, it seems now a lot of people are grabbing the ankles of the wrestling shoes to defend the takedown, more than I've ever seen. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. You know, some of them will allow a man to get in so that they can defend the shot and scramble into a strong position so that they can end up getting the takedown. I don't necessarily agree with that style. I think it's better to be offensive, attack, and finish quick. Because a lot of times you're going to find that against your better wrestlers, those great scramblers have problems.
Yeah.
Better take such strong position that they don't allow you to dive under, grab an ankle, and out-scramble them. They will finish you off before you have an opportunity to get to that ankle.
Right.
Those are your kids. However, every now and then you'll run into someone like, say, Ben Askren.
Yep.
Who is a great athlete, a great scrambler, and as mentally tough as they come. And he's going to be hard to beat no matter how good and how solid you are.
Yeah.
I view him as one of the, you know, and there's other ones out there that are great scramblers, but they're not in Askren's class as far as scrambling goes.
Yeah, but it seems like with the scrambling, I have no problem with the scrambling. It just seems like a way to, like, they grab the ankle and then hope for a stalemate. It seems like that's happening a lot, where the guy's getting in and the person's just grabbing an ankle, and then it becomes either a stalemate or a one of those positions where they go, oh, this is potentially dangerous. And I'm like, that didn't used to happen when I was wrestling. They would sort of like, it was weird. I'm like, you know what? I understand it, and if I was that coach and then somebody was in on my kid, I would say, do that, grab an ankle. But it does seem to be a little bit like people are sort of getting around the bit, they're kind of figuring out a way to get out of these double legs without having to really sprawl and just sort of hoping the ref starts over.
Right. Well, I think wrestlers are going to bend the rules and play to the rules as much as possible.
Yeah.
And if you go for an ankle and get yourself into a scrambling position and you get a stalemate call or a situation where it becomes potentially dangerous, you get to have a fresh start. And I think all coaches now do have to work on scrambling skills.
Yeah.
Quite a few kids that are very good scramblers now. Now, I think this pretty much came out of Pennsylvania. That state was the state that pretty much started rolling under, grabbing the ankle, rolling through the legs, coming out the back door. And then it just kind of spread across the country.
Right.
Now everyone knows how to do it, do some of it. But there's certain wrestlers who are great at it.
Yeah.
But I'm not so sure it's good for the fans because you get into so many stalemate positions with distraction.
Right.
And then the ref start all over again. So, but, who knows? I think it's the evolution of wrestling, It keeps changing and staying the same.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's a circle where, your sweep single. Okay, that went away for a while, and it was a lot of head outside singles. Now you see sweep singles coming back. It's still a great move. And if you have a great setup, a good level change, a deep penetrating step, and you get around the corner, you can still finish a single leg tackle with a good sweep single. So, sometimes I think coaches and wrestlers overcomplicate the sport. It's not that complicated.
Right. Absolutely. Now, hey, shut up. Now, what are your thoughts on mixed martial arts? Because this is MMA podcast, and so many wrestlers have went on to become successful MMA fighters. What are your thoughts on that?
I love it. I love mixed martial arts and the opportunity that it's provided for wrestlers. Because for the longest time, there was no place for even the top wrestlers to go after they finished college. Now they could take this skill and use it to make a living, provide income for their families. And if they're really good at it, they can provide a great income. And the other thing is that, you may not know this, but like Ken Florian, he used to train at BU. My assistant coach used to train him and work with him. He used to come to BU because him and his brother had a MMA school in Brookline, Massachusetts.
Right.
And Daniel Cormier, I recruited him.
No way.
Spoke with his mom. I recruited Daniel. He knows me. Spoke with his mom, spoke with him. He was at Colby Junior College, and he was wrestling for one of my former college teammates, Steve Lampy. And so Coach Lampy called me about Daniel, so we got in touch. And the BU thing didn't quite work out. But what I did notice that he's a class kid, a very, very nice person. Rashad Evans, he calls me at Boston University. This is probably 7-8 years ago, and he ordered one of our pieces of equipment, the snap and shoot. He was training for a major fight. And Chael Sonnen, we wrestled against him.
Oh, no way.
So a lot of, we wrestled Chael Sonnen at the Midlands tournament one year, one of my kids. So a lot of these guys I've had direct contact with in one way or another. But the bottom line is that I think MMA is great for the sport of wrestling because it shows how the sport of wrestling compares to some of these other combative sports. And MMA is kind of like, okay, which skill set is the best if you ended up getting into a street fight?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because jiu-jitsu, you've got all kinds of combative
boxing,
sports.
Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, judo. Yeah.
And what we're seeing now is that it's the wrestlers who rise to the top and rise to the top very quickly.
Yeah, a lot of it also is the whole embrace the grinds, mentality of just keep moving forward, keep pushing forward, never giving up, taking the fight where you want.
Absolutely. And I think the big thing is that wrestlers have such great skill when it comes to attacking the legs and attacking the other man's body. And it's difficult for a jiu-jitsu guy to actually use a lot of his jiu-jitsu skills on a wrestler. Wrestlers have been in positions because we study so many skills from so many positions, so many times that they can anticipate when something is going to happen, and they pull out of it. The other thing is that they're so strong, and because of what we had to do, and you probably went through it with the weight cutting, just having to hang in there and get off the last pound, wrestlers are so mentally tough. And there's other fighters that are mentally tough as well. I don't know that they've gone to the place that wrestlers have had to go to so many times, week after week during the season, sometimes twice a week, sometimes 5 matches in one day at a tournament. And so you develop mental toughness that I just don't think that if you're a jiu-jitsu guy, that you see the depths of what wrestlers have gone through in that particular sport. So, in that way, wrestlers' advantage, I feel.
No, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I mean, Dan Henderson said that wrestling was actually harder than fighting. Yeah, I don't know if that's true, but that's just what he said. You know.
Well, from my vantage point, the fighting is brutal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think nothing away from those guys. You know, you catch a knee in the face, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get something broke, you know. But wrestling is tough. It's a nonstop grind, and it takes everything that you have mentally, physically, and technically to win the big matches. And so I think wrestlers have benefited from that when they cross over to the sport of mixed martial arts.
Right. No, absolutely. Now you have you've written a couple books. You have a new one coming out?
I actually have written 4 books. 3 of them are instructional books. And the last one, Think It, Believe It, Do It, moved away from wrestling instruction to a certain extent. You know, I wanted to put together something about winning, something about getting things done. There's so many people that have ideas, that want to do things, but they never get to the point where they actually finish what they want to start. And then the other part of that book is just achieving a satisfactory level of success in your life. And so that's what the third book is about. And basically, I wrote for a month straight. And within a month, I had written 50,000 words. Everything came from the gut. You know, and that was at a time when, you know, I was still at BU. I was working as a student-athlete coordinator. So I had time on my hands. And I had outlined the book 3 years prior. And so I self-published it, like I have with all of the other books. And, you know, it's on the market now. It's on my website, you know, that type of thing. But that was the last book that I wrote.
And what's your website?
CarlAdams.com.
Okay.
And it's the same. Yeah, it's the same website that my equipment is on as well.
Yes, I know. I heard you have like 3 wrestling takedown machines. Is this true?
Well, you know, I invented the first one, the Adam takedown machine, about 40-some years ago. I was 23 at the time. It's still on the market today. We sold that company. However, since then, I have probably 4 or 5 other products, wrestling products, on the market as well. You'll see those on that website. And just recently, since retiring, I've crossed over to MMA. I'm totally into creating training devices. And so, you know, this past year, I crossed over to MMA, and we have a website where I have my newest product. It's called MMA Drill Master. And I feel tremendous about this piece of equipment because it allows fighters to work on leg attacks, striking, kicks, elbows, and knees, and it's all housed in one piece of equipment. And I'm biased as hell.
I love it. I love it. So where people can get this equipment on CarlAdams.com?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
And people can get all this at CarlAdams.com?
Not CarlAdams.com. If they go for the MMA stuff, they would have to go to MMADrillmasters.com. MMADrillmasters.com. And what I will say while we're talking about this piece of equipment, I do think if MMA guys take the time to take a look at it, they'll see something that's different from everything else out there. in something that they can do more on than any other piece of MMA training equipment in the world, I'll stake my life on that.
I'm looking at it right now. This thing is awesome. You could snap and shoot plus. This thing is awesome. You got to get a better model though. I think I could probably take that guy in like the picture.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But what I'm saying is, you go to the one MMA.
Yeah, I'm looking at MMADrillmaster.com. I'm looking at it right now. It's pretty.
If you take a look at, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, holy crap! I can't believe you have the Iowa snapper, the throw dummy. You have the takedown defender, the Jouban legs.
Yeah.
I like it. I like MMA Drillmaster. This thing is awesome.
Well, what's going on with that, Adam, is MMA guys or companies, or not companies, people that train I've never really marketed to MMA people. However, when they come across it, if they have the money, obviously, it's expensive, not tremendously expensive, but, you got to put up some money. A good number of them buy it, like Rashad Evans called me at BU and he ordered the snap and shoot. But the snap and shoot at that time really wasn't made for MMA, but a lot of MMA guys were buying it because they could work on wrestling skills.
Yeah, no, this is great.
And that's where the Master comes in. This thing has a bigger target, something that you can punch, kick, elbow, and knee, and coordinate working on your leg shot. So I'm biased again, Adam.
I don't care. I like it. I've never seen anything like this before.
I think it is dynamite,
I think this is awesome. I've never seen anything like this before. I think this is awesome. Carl, you're a genius. You're a genius, man.
Well, I don't know about genius. I do know one thing. I'm very passionate about training. And you know as well as I that repetition and building muscle memory is what gets you over in those fights that are going to be tough, where you got to come off with some good stuff.
It's everything. It's everything. It's everything.
You got to have that, and that's what these pieces of equipment are all about.
I like it. Well, listen, Carl, man, it is an honor to have a 2-time national champion, a 3-time All-American, a world champion, an amazing coach on the podcast. I can't wait to have you back on. And thank you, Carl. Thanks so much, man.
Adam, I thank you for having me on, and I really appreciate the opportunity. And good luck to you and much success.
Oh, thank you, man. Thanks a lot, Carl. I appreciate that. Have a great week.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.